Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. See. All right. My audio is working. What's crack a lacking? Wire dog security. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday afternoon? Um, I look a little worn out. I just came back home from, doing my 7 hour shift at the corporate plantation, tap dancing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to earn my little slave wages. And we got to talk about Gen Z again. Gen Z is a little fascinating group of people. I even have one suspected Gen Zer who made a video about me. We're gonna, well, he didn't really make it about me, but he mentioned me. And we're just gonna kind of review what this person said. I found it somewhat interesting. I don't know if y'all can hear my kids in there whining and crying, but it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is when they decide they want to turn up and start fussing and fighting. But anyways, let's talk about Gen Z, man, because y'all are y'all are something else, man. Let me share this little picture here. Let me show y'all what I mean. So a Gen Zer posted this on my video that I did like 2 days ago. Xander K. Xander K says he was responding to somebody in the comments who agreed with what I said. And Xander says 22-year-olds with their first, hold up, I can't read it. Here we go. 22-year-olds with their first real job haven't developed soft skills yet and don't communicate well with people 25 years older than them. What a shock. So I put, how old do you have to be to learn how to look a person in the eyes when you talk to them, shake someone's hand with a firm grip, and not whisper when communicating with people? Like, how old do you have to be to learn these things in regards to soft skills, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think when people of my age group, the old crusty types, I don't think when we talk about soft skills, we're not talking about you have to be the most the most socially aware person, meaning you know how to make everybody laugh. You're when you walk into a room, everybody just stares at you and stuff like that. When I speak of not social, but when I speak of soft skills, I'm just talking about, do you know how to act like a normal human being? Like you don't come across as weird and creepy to the point where people are looking at you like you might be a serial killer or something like that. Like, can you do those basic things? Right? Because, like I tell you guys, I deal with Gen Z all the time due to my employment. And some of them, it just seems like basic life skills that should have been taught to them early have been neglected. And when I say basic life skills, that's exactly what I mean. Like when you come to class or you come to work, can you dress like you didn't just roll out of bed in your pajamas? Can you brush your teeth? Can you put some deodorant on? Can you wash your face? Can you do those simple things? And it sounds crazy to say this, but these are things that I witness on a daily basis when it comes to Gen Z. It's just like nobody taught them the value of soap and water or how to just get up and clean yourself up to get your day started. And of course, that's not all of them, but I see a lot of them. They just have this homely look where they just don't care about nothing. Right. And, that's fine if you don't want to care. But in the work environment, I don't know how well that's going to go over with you in a professional setting where other people may care about those things, like me, right? So, these are soft skills that I'm talking about, right? But, anyways, we're not here to talk about this comment, but shout out to this dude, Xander. I'm assuming he's a Gen Z. We're here to talk about this video right here from Authentic, what is his name? Authentic Talk podcast. Now I know this dude. Well, we've known each other on YouTube for quite a few years, and every other day he changes the name of his YouTube channel for reasons I've yet to understand. But anyways, he's been on a tear lately, making these videos about people quitting the workforce. Hold up, I got to share my other image because if I play it like this, you're not going to hear the audio. Give me a second. How do I stop? I got to share the other window. How do I do that? Is it share screen? Let me see. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. All right. Yeah, I had to share a different window because if I didn't, you wouldn't hear the audio when I start playing it. All right. So, anyways, we're going to react to this video. He got a video titled Gen Z Gives Zero Fucks About the Workspace. And he made this video in response to a video that I made. And like I say, I know this guy through YouTube. We've talked a lot. So it's no beef or drama, but I just want to respond to some of the things that he was talking about in this video. So let's just go ahead and listen to the mindset of Gen Z. I'm assuming he's Gen Z because I don't know exactly how old he is, but let's just listen to the mindset of how they view the workforce and all that wonderful stuff.
What's going on, y'all? It's your
and let me know if y'all can hear the audio.
boy Authentic Talk Podcast. We are back with another one. Happy Tuesday. Happy first of the month. Man, I don't know if it's just me, but sheesh. September flew the French toast by. Oh my God. It feels like it was just Labor Day. Now here we are, October, man. Last quarter of the year, man. Let's finish strong, y'all. Let's finish strong, man. We got this. We got this. Anyway, I want to continue harping on this workplace dilemma. You know, a lot of old heads are mad that Gen Z don't want to work. I just saw a video by my boy Tech G. Shout out to Tech G. Make sure you go subscribe to him. He's an IT professional. He teaches IT in the state of Florida. And he made a video a couple of days ago about how none of the Gen Z people that he works with want to be there. Well, actually, he said that they were they just weren't good workers. He said they were like socially awkward. You know, they wouldn't talk on the job. They wouldn't communicate. They wouldn't they would constantly ask for help. They were just doing the bare minimum.
That is exactly correct so far. Yes, I would classify a lot of them as socially awkward, that don't like to talk, don't want to use their brains to think, critically think. That's what a lot of them are based on my travels. That's what I see and what I come across.
When it comes to Gen Z, like I know they get a lot.
Speaking of authentic talk, guess who's in the chat? Got you on the Summer Jam screen, bruh. So after we go through this video, I might drop the link for you if you want to come up here and share your thoughts on this. All right.
Of a lot of press for being lazy, for being socially awkward or whatever. That may or not be the case, but I think what it is when it comes to the job, they're like that because they don't want to be there. Most of them just don't want to be there.
Ah, man, you gonna hit me with all the commercials.
And what a lot of y'all don't understand, like,
all right, so he says most of us don't want to. Nobody, Gen Z doesn't want to be there. Well, Authentic Talk Podcast, I don't think anybody really wants to work a job if they don't have to, regardless of what generation you fall into. Like I say, I'm Gen X / millennial, born in 1980, because somebody left a comment on my last video. They said, Man, how you graduating high school in 1998 if you were born in 1984? No, I was born in 1980. So I graduated high school in 1998. But anyways, I don't think anybody really wants to work if we have the opportunity to not work. So that's not just a trait that Gen Z has that's all unique unto yourselves. Like I say, my parents, they're baby boomers. If they were coming up and they had a lot of money and opportunities to not work a 9 to 5, they would have never worked a 9 to 5 either. So it is what it is.
It's not just about the money. I think these newer generations don't care as much about money. Like, albeit, you know, we do want a wage to where we can, have all our bills paid, so we could have a little bit of money to trick off, have a little bit of money to be able to live comfortably. I believe everybody wants that. But what a lot of older people don't understand is younger people want more control over their time. Younger people don't want to have to answer to a boss. Younger people have more of an entrepreneurial mindset, you know?
Everybody doesn't want to answer to a boss. Everybody wants more control over their time. Now, you say younger people have a more of an entrepreneurial mindset. I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't think they have more of a mindset to be an entrepreneur than any other group of anybody. As a matter of fact, when you just look at the overall population, the majority of people in general are not entrepreneurial minded. It's only like a small percentage of people who actually have the kahunas to go out there and try to start a business, whether it's a solo dolo LLC business, kind of like what I got, or they trying to start a full-fledged business where they got 4, 5, 10, 20 employees. That's only a small segment of the population. The majority of people don't want to be entrepreneurs. So I don't really believe what you're saying there.
See, back in the day, there's no offense to all of you old folks out there, but y'all, most of y'all like the comfort. You like the comfort of being told what to do,
Right.
not, thinking for yourself, you know? And a lot of y'all just, for some reason, don't believe that you could ever get fired. You believe in this thing called job security, which is a myth. It's a complete effing myth. It just doesn't exist. I mean, it just never did, especially not now. And a lot of y'all don't mind giving up most of your time and most of your energy for a paycheck. And I just think the younger generations just see the idiocy in that. They see how much of a waste of fucking time it is. They see how much of their finite life that they're giving away to evil corp.
I think it's a matter of perspective, man. So you say that we don't mind giving up our time and being controlled. First off, I don't think anybody willingly goes to get a job just so that they can turn into a mindless drone. I don't think anybody does that. Most people go get a job because they have bills to pay, responsibilities to adhere to, people to take care of. And it's a means to an end. That's all it is at the end of the day. I don't know of anybody in my generation, the millennial generation, the baby boomer generation, that just views a job as as its god of sorts. Like you go there and worship the job and worship the corporation. It's like, nah, B, this is what we have to do if we want to keep putting food in our refrigerator. This is what we have to do if we want to keep a shelter over our head, so we're not outside of 7-Eleven doing the moonwalk for $1. I mean, these are just the things that we have to do if we want to survive and thrive in this great country called the United States, or wherever it is that you live at. All right. These are the things that people have to do. It's called being an adult at the end of the day. Right. I mean, that's how I view it. Because if you don't do those things, what's the alternative? Well, I drive past the alternative every single day, and I see, and most of them are standing on the corner asking for money as cars go by. Now, that's not the lifestyle that I want, right? But even if you look at them that are asking for money, technically they're still doing a job as well. So it doesn't matter if you're working at a corporation, you own a business, or even if you're homeless. You have to work if you want to get the basic necessities to sustain life. That's what it is. It's not about, oh, I love the corporation and all hail the corporation and you're praying at the altar of the bosses. No, it's just about, bruh, I got to eat. I got to pay bills. I got to do what I got to do to, finance my lifestyle and possibly my dreams and aspirations. These are the things that people have to do.
And I think younger generations resent the corporations. They resent the corporations. And also too, and
why do the younger generations resent the corporations? I wish, you should do a video on that Authentic Talk podcast explaining why you think they resent the corporations. Because my thing is, nobody is forcing people to go work at these corporations. This isn't slavery where they're out here rounding up young people, putting them in chains and tying them to desks and making them click clack on computers or move boxes around. It's like, no, these people voluntarily go there because the corporations have presented an employment opportunity to where you come in, give X amount of hours, and we'll give you X amount of money in exchange for those hours for working. So I fail to understand the resentment here. But please make a video talking about that.
This isn't the fault of the boomer. I mean, you guys, or I'll just say Gen X, y'all didn't really have the opportunities that younger people have today. So I kind of get it.
We didn't have the opportunities that younger people have today. So once again, I was born in 1980 at the very tail end of Gen X, the start of the millennial generation. I came in my 20s is when social media took off for the most part, right? The internet, how we use it today in social media. So I've had access to the technology just like you all. The only difference is y'all have had access to it at a much younger age. Meaning if you're a Gen Zer, you probably had an iPhone put in your face by the time you were 2 years old, right? Versus when I was 2 years old, I don't know what the hell I was doing. We didn't have iPhones back then. But regardless of all that, we're not some old crusty people who's one step away from going to take a dirt nap to where we can't comprehend how to use the internet and technology. Like it's been as much of a part of my life, my adult life, instrumental to my adult life as it's been a part of your, probably your entire life. That's just how it goes.
I kind of get it. Y'all didn't have the internet. Y'all couldn't make money on the internet 30 years ago. Y'all couldn't be an influencer or start up an OnlyFans.
Oh,
like my generation and like Gen Z.
So let me talk about that real quick. So you say we couldn't be an influencer and start up an OnlyFans, right? That's true. But the way you frame that, you make it sound like all influencers are making money. All OnlyFans are making money. I looked this up the other day because I was interested, right? Not in OnlyFans in that manner, but I was interested, how much money does the average OnlyFans person make? So based on my research, I believe there's like 4 million OnlyFans creators out there. And they say out of the 4 million OnlyFans creators, they say the overwhelming majority of creators on OnlyFans, they probably make only about $150 a month if they're lucky. All right. If you go look up all of the YouTubers that make money online, they say the overwhelming majority of YouTubers barely make $100 a month. And I imagine it's the same way with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform that you're trying to monetize. So you're saying that we didn't have the opportunity to be an influencer due to the lack of the technology, which is true. But even though you guys have access to the technology at a much younger age, the majority of you all still aren't making money with the technology. The majority of y'all will probably make more money working at McDonald's, passing Happy Meals through the window, than you will becoming a content creator. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation right here. I mean, if we just want to keep it strictly within the confines of YouTube, the majority of YouTubers will never ever get to 10,000 subscribers, right? So being an influencer is the way you're kind of setting it up as if it's some type of flex, like, haha, look what we can do, and y'all couldn't do it. Fine, I'll give you that so-called flex, being that you had access to this technology at a much younger age. But even though you have access, even though you've had access to it, the majority of y'all still haven't figured out how to use this technology to make money to where you can actually do this as a full-time living. And understand this, right? Understand this. So I know a lot about social media and the internets and building an audience, right? I've been doing this for a while, not just this Tech G channel. But if you want to be, when people talk about making money online, being an influencer and things of that nature, everybody has this fantasy that you're making $100,000 a year. You're getting all these sponsorship deals for 10,000, 5,000. Do you know how much? Listen, let me tell you guys something. You can be a full-time YouTuber / influencer making $30,000 a year, right? Because all you need to do is just make enough money to replace your current income. That's it. So if you got a job paying $30,000, and if you can be an influencer and you're making $30,000 off of being an influencer, then technically you could transition into being an influencer. You don't have to make the big gargantuan bucks that Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and all them make, although that would be great. But even with that said, the majority of content creators / influencers from the Gen Z era, they will never make enough money to even consider being a full-time influencer, or even enough money to where they can go around here bragging and flexing about how much money they make, because the majority of y'all only make about $100 to $150 a month if you're lucky. That's the numbers, right? And all of y'all want to be influencers, but all of y'all don't have the talent and or skill sets to truly monetize this thing to where you can turn it into a full-time job so that you can escape the corporate plantation. That's just the reality of the situation. What I'm saying, Authentic Talk Podcast. And I wish you would stop changing your name, bro. I wish you would stop changing your channel name, because it's hella confusing at times. But yeah.
A lot of y'all had to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all were latchkey kids. So
a lot of us were latchkey kids, which is true, right? And if you don't know what a latchkey kid is, that's basically when your mother and father went to work and the kids came home after school, and you kind of fended for yourself until mommy and daddy came home from work. That was my existence growing up as a child. But I think there are benefits to that, in my opinion, because as a latchkey kid, we came home, dropped our books off, did our homework, and went outside to play so we can socialize and interact with other human beings of our age group, our peers in particular, right? Which helped develop our social skills. Like, go look at your neighborhoods now and see how many kids do you see outside riding bikes at the park, shooting hoops, doing this, that, and the third. Is really nowhere near as popping today like it used to be back when I was coming up. Everybody's in the house playing video games, doing whatever they do, looking at OnlyFans and all this other crazy crap. But I think you're lacking in the social skills development, which can ultimately help you out later on in your professional development. Hence the reason why I showed that comment earlier of that guy who left a comment talking about how 22-year-old kids don't have social skills when they go get their first job. And he's like, what a shock. Well, if you went outside and played, you know what I'm saying? You went outside and actually interacted with other human beings, you would have by default developed those social skills to a certain point, to where when you become of age, 22 years old, as a legal, fully functioning adult, you would know how to interact on a basic level when it comes to social skills, right? Like once again, the ability to look somebody in the eye when you're talking to them instead of looking down at the ground or avoiding eye contact, the ability to shake somebody's hand when you first meet them and actually put some grip on that thing, the ability to project your voice, not yell and scream, but just talk loud enough so that somebody can hear you, right? Because again, today, I had another student come up to me. This student's like 21 years old. I got a 21-year-old male asking me a question who's literally like 2.5 feet away from me, and I could barely hear what this person was saying. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm not gonna beat you up and slap you. I'm not gonna embarrass you if for whatever question you ask. Just ask your question and just speak normal. Just pretend like we're playing video games and how you talk to your friends when you're playing video games. Do that. All right.
In a way, I understand. And basically all I'm doing, like I'm not here to shame on older people. I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. Because every generation has its flaws. Every generation has its pluses. Even the boomers. Yeah, I said it. But anyway, I'm just trying to kind of like mediate and help the generations understand the other's point of view. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times there's no communication. There's no communication because younger people think.
I'm 60 and I agree with him. I don't want to work for anyone but myself. A lot of people say that, right? So let me ask you something, Selmo. You're 60 years old. How come you haven't figured out how to work for yourself yet? I mean, you don't have to give me all the personal nitty-gritty details, but what you're saying is something that everybody dreams about and wants to do. Like we all want to hit the lottery, but the reality is working for yourself is actually harder than working for somebody else. That's the thing that nobody ever likes to advertise and talk about. So I'm curious to know at the ripe age of 60, how come you haven't, if you haven't, how come you haven't figured out how to work for yourself? I will be interested in finding that out if you care to share that.
Think older people are washed up and dumb and don't have wisdom and are out of touch. And then the older people think the younger people are just lazy and entitled and just, don't want to work, don't want to do anything. They're just, they want to be spoon fed. And some of the misconceptions might be true, but I do think that there's a conversation that needs to be had between the two generations, in order to come to some sort of consensus or some sort of understanding, But back to Gen Z, man. Gen Z has just figured out that the juice just ain't worth the squeeze. They figured out the juice ain't worth the squeeze, you know what I'm saying? They figured out with a lot of these jobs that they're getting the short end of the stick. They're getting the short end of the stick. And I understand, you have, nowadays, you have to work, whether you're working for yourself or you're working for.
So let me ask you this, Authentic Talk Podcast. You say Gen Z has figured out they're getting the short end of the stick. All right. If that's true, how come Gen Z doesn't appear to be using all of their arty smarts, all of their access to the latest and greatest technology to prevent themselves from getting the short end of the stick? Like, how come that isn't happening in mass right now? I mean, because earlier you said you guys have access to all of the latest, greatest gadgets, the internet, all of the Star Trek next generation technology that we didn't have access to when I was coming up as a kid. How come the overwhelming majority of you haven't figured out how to use this technology to go out there and get your own thing popping so you can avoid getting the short end of the stick? Like, what's the holdup? I mean, aren't y'all supposed to be like the smartest generation ever? I'm just trying to understand, like, it just seems like there's a disconnect here where you have access to all this great stuff that you stated, but some of them are just now figuring out they don't want to get the short end of the stick. It's like, you didn't figure this out beforehand, before you turned 18 and had to go find a job or, graduate college and go get a job. Like, how come y'all aren't figuring this stuff out by the time you're like 10 years old? like what's going on here? Because let me tell you something. You know what I was doing when I was in elementary school? I used to sell candy bars in elementary, right? Even when I was a broke college student at Tuskegee University, right? I used to want to go to the clubs and party and engage in my nefarious activities on the weekend. And so in order for me to fund those things, I used to go to the store. I used to buy a bunch of snacks because I lived in a dorm with a bunch of dudes who like to get high all the time. And I knew, hey man, after people get high, they're hungry. So they go down the hall, buy the little weed, smoke it up. Then after they're done smoking, they come knocking on my door because they got the munchies, right? So I figured this out, and I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't even have an internet connection, but I figured out how to go out there and apply my arty smarts to try to make a little bit of money, which spurred this entrepreneurial mindset in me that actually started learning earlier on in life, which is currently where I am today as a part-time entrepreneur with my little IT training business. But I'm saying all to say, you guys got access to all the information literally in the palm of your hands, right? Somebody says Tuskegee. That's right. I went to Tuskegee. That's right. From 1998 to 2002, I was out there broke as hell with no car, walking around, way thinner than I am now. Broke, but still getting women. But anyways, that's besides the point. But the whole thing is you guys got access to all the information, all the technology in the palms of your hands, and y'all still can't figure out how to avoid the so-called short end of the stick. I mean, why is that? I will be curious to hear your thoughts on that. If you made a video talking about that as well, Authentic Talk. How come your generation or Gen Z can't figure out how to use all this arty smart stuff to drastically accelerate their life? And I'm not talking about just the onesies and twosies. I'm talking about there should be like at least 30-40% of the generation is just killing it in the game, to where they don't have to go to the corporate plantation. They don't have to go to college and get these crappy degrees and then start crying about, can the president repay my student debt? Or I got to move back in with my mommy and daddy because I can't afford rent. Like, y'all should have everything figured out and know how to use these gadgets to make your life just super wonderful. So make sure you make a video talking about that. I want to check that out, man.
For evil court, you got to do something, especially as a man. Ain't nobody just going, give you, a lifestyle as a grown ass man. Ain't nobody gonna pay your bills for you. You got to get out there and grind, And Gen Z.
On Chewy, save 35% and shop all your favorite brands. For any.
My bad. I was about to cry about your commercials, but I forgot. You're an influencer. You got to get your influencer AdSense. I feel you on that. So
understands that they're getting the short end of the stick. They're putting in more effort and they're getting little in return. Because the circumstances are just different nowadays, y'all.
What effort are they putting in more that other generations aren't putting in? Everybody goes to work, does the same damn thing, right? Y'all get your little paychecks and go home. Everybody still got to deal with the same expensive, inflated prices out there in this economy, and everybody's paychecks aren't moving up that drastically. What are they dealing with that Gen X and the baby boomers and the millennials aren't dealing with? What's different about them other than they're younger than us, and most of them are coming into the workforce with less experience and less skills? What are they dealing with? We all started off life working like that, right? When I could only get a job at the grocery store bagging up groceries or working at McDonald's, that's because I didn't know anything. I didn't have a skill set that warranted me getting paid $75,000, $100,000+ a year. I didn't know a damn thing. I barely knew how to flip a damn hamburger. I had to go learn how to do that. So what is that generation? What are they being exposed to more that other generations aren't being exposed to? I don't understand this.
They're completely different nowadays. Gone are the days where people could work a simple job, work their 40 hours, come home, drink their little beers. You know what I'm saying? They can watch and live in color at night. or their little box TVs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jet X. You know what I'm saying? And they,
The box TV has been replaced with y'all smartphones. Y'all are watching YouTube and OnlyFans, bro. Y'all are doing the same thing we were doing.
they could be comfortable. They could be comfortable, but this this ain't the 90s, y'all. This ain't the 80s and 90s. Like, things are just different, man. Things are a lot different. Inflation is a bitch.
Inflation is nothing new. They had high inflation in the late 70s, bro. So inflation always comes and goes. It's just a cyclical thing, man. I guess what I'm trying to understand here, I wish you would have elaborated on this point more. Exactly what is different today from yesteryear, right? That you're saying that everything is worse or everything is. I don't understand it. I wish you would have went into more detail explaining that. Maybe you'll do a future video on that, but I don't. I'm really missing the point here. I don't get it. I don't know.
You know, everything, just the job market is so unstable now. So you got to have a lot of grace on these younger people, man. You really do. And you got to really see it from their point of view.
So why should we have grace on younger people when you stated earlier that younger people have had access to all types of technology and advancements that previous generations didn't have access to? Why should we have grace on them? You've had access to the high-speed internet, a smartphone, and a tablet since forever. You've had access to information literally at the speed of right now. I can remember going to the library as a kid and using the Dewey Decimal System to look up a damn book or to try to find a book in the library. When was the last time you seen kids going to the library? Matter of fact, when is the last time you've actually seen kids carrying textbooks to school? Right? I got a son that just graduated high school and his younger brother's in the 4th grade. They don't even have books. They get issued laptops and tablets from the county. Everything is digitized, right? They all come to school. They all got smartphones that mommy and daddy is paying for, access to the internet, data plans. It seems like y'all actually have it easier, which is a good thing to a certain extent, but I just don't feel like y'all are applying it to its maximum potential other than using it as a constant source for entertainment. So I don't understand why we should have grace when you've been given every single tool imaginable at a relatively affordable price, but you're just not making the most of what you've been given. And now a lot of y'all are coming online, whining and crying and complaining about the job market, about how the corporations are, but you have access to all these tools to where you can go out there and really reshape your life and reality for how you want things to be. You can take your phone and start a whole business off your phone and not just being an influencer. I mean, you literally have the ability to do these things. So I don't understand why grace should be given to a bunch of people that have everything that every other generation wished they could have had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't, it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's because I'm old and crusty. That's why.
Why does it look like I'm crying? I'm not crying, y'all. It's just like sweat. It's a little hot out here. You know what I'm saying? But I love to get out and record. Look, Gen Z just understands what they're up against. They understand what they're up against. You know, and my advice to Gen Z, instead of like going to work and quiet quitting, you know, doing the bare minimum or just being, you know, not communicating, like, instead of doing that, I mean, just try to find a way to get the fuck out. Have some sort of game plan. Because when you come to work with that attitude and you're not being productive, like, they're going to get rid of your behind anyway.
So instead of them quiet quitting, they should just quit or have a game plan. Now, look, I agree with you there. So when I was in the Army, there are all types of dudes that will always say every other day, man, I can't wait to get out the Army. As soon as my enlistment's up, I'm getting out the Army. Then here comes their enlistment. And next thing you know, they're raising their hands, swearing back in to do another 4 or 5 years. And then next thing you know, 4 or 5 years on turn into a whole 20-year career. I've only met a handful of people that actually wanted to be in the Army and do a full 20-year career. And when I say a handful, I'm talking about maybe 5 people. Everybody else that I've ever met that ended up doing 20 years in the military or more, it's because they didn't have a plan to get out and what they wanted. They didn't put together a plan for what they were going to do when they wanted to get out. Or like this one particular guy I know, he messed around and had a bunch of damn kids. So he couldn't afford to get out. But anyways, I seen this in the Army. As a matter of fact, I had an old Army buddy of mine reach out to me about 2 years ago. He came across my website, and I guess he's into this whole SEO, trying to revamp people's websites and make them get more traffic. And this is a guy that was in for 20 years in the IT profession as a 25 Bravo. That's what I was in the Army. That's the IT job in the U.S. Army. During his entire 20 years in the Army, this joker never got one IT certification, not one. He knew the bare minimum of how to do an IT job, and somehow he just skated by for 20 years. I think he made it to the rank of E7, which is a senior enlisted, Sergeant First Class, but he never got one certification and never really thought about what he was going to do after he retired from the Army. I guess he just thought his retirement check was going to be enough to carry him off into the sunset. So anyways, he gets out, starts up his little not his IT, but his SEO marketing business. Then he comes to me asking me, can he use my site as his guinea pig site? Because it was weird, because at first he was promoting it like he had a full-blown business. And then when he contacted me and we started talking, turns out he didn't have a business. He was just starting it, and he wanted to use my site as a guinea pig to prove what he can do with SEO optimization and all that crap. But when he got to talking to me about it, I was just like, bruh, everything you say that you're going to do is things that I already do for my own website that I don't have to pay another person to do. Like, I know all this stuff and I've done all this stuff, which is why I get the traffic I get, or I'm getting the views I get. I'm not saying that I'm an expert at this stuff, but anyways, I told him that, and then I was like, all right, man, here's what I want you to do. Put together this is exactly what I told him. I was like, put together a business proposal for what you want to do for my website. Send it over to me so I can review it and look at it. And then, we could talk about it from there. I never got the business proposal from this dude. Never got it. He never sent it over, nothing, right? But I'm saying all to say, this is a guy that I know who was in the Army all that time. He never prepared for life after the military. He didn't even prepare his own personal business after he got out of the military to come talk to me. He was trying to make it seem like he already had this big thing set up. It was like, I think he probably just watched some random video on YouTube and was like thinking I can do this, and tried to basically fake it till he, faking the funk when he came around me. But anyways, the whole point is, a lot of people aren't prepared, man. A lot of people don't make plans. That's why they end up doing 20 years in the military. That's why they end up working at a job till they're old as hell, for a whole variety of reasons. It's easy to say these things. Oh, you shouldn't silent quit or quietly quit. You should just put a plan together. Most people don't plan for shit, bruh. They don't make plans. They just live life day by day, not thinking about what's going to happen next week or 2 months, 3 months down the line. The way my life is set up, let's just say I lost my job today. I got enough money stashed in my bank account, liquid cash, that I wouldn't have to go get a job for the next 2 years and still be able to sustain my lifestyle and pay all of my bills. Right? Why is that? Because I learned at a young age, early in my career, when I had messed my credit up when I was like 20 something years old, I started learning about money. Now, I'm not no financial expert or guru, but I started preparing for life after the military because I knew I was going to get out one day. And I always knew, man, I need to have enough money in the bank just in case I can't find a job and the bills aren't going to stop. Right? I still need to be able to pay my bills and do what I got to do. So I just started stacking money, putting it to the side, stacking it and stacking. I'm talking about over years of doing this. So now here I am 44. If I lost my job, I can chill literally for 2 years and not go work. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been planning for this stuff, right? But most people aren't going to do that. It takes discipline to do some crap like that. It takes basic discipline just to plan what you're going to do tomorrow. And most people just don't have it in them. Doesn't matter what generation you're a part of.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're already doing it. They're already doing it. Like a lot of these Gen Zs are working 2-3 months on a job, and then they you know, big boss get them up out of there. You know, because a lot of them are quiet quitting. This is like, forget quiet quitting. Just fucking leave. Just leave. Just quit. But when
leave and quit and do what? Like, how is just leaving and quitting going to help them? Now, look, if you don't want to work at a place because you feel it's bad for your health, mental health, all that, whatever reason, that's fine and dandy. But I guess I'm really asking you, how does your advice actually help? Like, what are they supposed to do when they leave and quit? Like, what's the next step? Especially if they're not under the care and protection of mommy and daddy. What are they supposed to do? Because, you know, what they're more than likely going to do is go find another job. They're going to go find another job. You know, very few of them are going to pick up their phone and become a highly successful social media influencer to where they're making tens of thousands of dollars a month. More than likely, you're just going to go get another job and they'll be whining and crying over there. So I don't know if that's a real solid piece of advice, right? I mean, if you want them to quit or if you're advising them to quit, you know, maybe they should probably, even if they're only working at this company 2 to 3 months, maybe you should tell them, man, save up all your paychecks, start writing down a business plan, start writing down, you know, a professional development plan for what you think you might want to do as you get ready to get up out of here. You know, I just don't know how telling people to just quit and not giving them some type of solution as to what they should, or guidance as to what they should possibly do next, when in reality, they're going to go get another job and be right back on the corporate plantation that you're telling them to quit.
When you do quit, have some sort of backup plan, have some sort of game plan. You know what your next move is going to be. Start preparing, start planning, you know, start researching, figure out what you can do to make more income. You know,
once again, how come they haven't figured this out before? You told us earlier in the video, they got access to all this wonderful technology. How come this generation hasn't figured out how to use that technology to plan for all this stuff so that they don't have to just quietly quit or just up and quit? Like they should already have all these plans laid out on spreadsheets, Google documents, you know, whiteboards somewhere. All this stuff should be in place already because they have access to all the damn information in the world in the palm of their hands. How come they're not utilizing that? That's what I guess that's really where I'm struggling to comprehend this, right? Is damn it, they got all this technology and all this knowledge, but they can't figure out how to use it to plan for these types of events when they know that they hate the corporate work structure and they're going to quit and do all this crap. Why don't you have all this stuff planned beforehand? You could have wrote this down in the damn notes app on your phone.
No. Figure out a way to make more income, passive income. You know, start investing, start you a side hustle. Just find something to do. Find something else to do. Like, I don't have all the answers. You know, and I don't come online pretending to be.
No. You're supposed to have all the answers, bro. You're an influencer. I saw your video. You got a video talking about how you want to be YouTube rich. You want to just be a full-time YouTube creator. I watched the video, right? You was telling us about how you're a highly creative person. Like I say, this ain't no beef. Me and this guy have known each other through YouTube for like 5-6 years. So this ain't no beef or no drama, right? But the whole point is you're an influencer. You got like 2 monetized channels, one with like 8,000 subs, another one got whatever. You should have those answers, bruh. People listen to you. They tune in to hear your rants about whatever you're talking about. I watch them. You should be able to come up with these answers to that young 20-something-year-old person who's thinking about quitting their job and they trying to figure out their next move. They're coming to you for that guidance, man. Use this platform to help mold their minds, bro. At least that's what I think you should do. But you don't have to do that. But
be an expert. But I'm just telling you that the path of working this dead-end job that you hate, or it might not be a dead-end job. It might be a great job, but if you're miserable, then it might as well be a dead-end job. But just doing that, coming to work and just giving the bare minimum and hating your job and being toxic, like it's gonna end eventually. So you might as well cut the umbilical cord, and just exit stage left. Exit stage left. But anywho, let me know what y'all think. I go by Authentic Talk Podcast. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Like, share, sub. I'm gone. Peace.
All right, so that's Authentic Talk Podcast. I don't know if he's still in the chat. If you want to come, I'm gonna drop the link in case he want to come up. How do I make this thing smaller? Give me a second. Here we go. So Authentic Talk Podcast. I'm gonna drop this link if you want to come up here and bestow upon us your infinite wisdom about why young people should just quit and go out there and become social media influencers so they can become the next Kim Kardashian and all that stuff, right? Anyways, let me go through and read some of y'all's comments here. But before I do that, listen. So once again, this ain't no beef. I've known this guy through YouTube and social media for like 5-6 years. So matter of fact, we've interacted with each other a lot over the years. But I just find it interesting. What up, AM1? I just find it interesting that the alternative to not working a corporate job, you only got a handful of alternatives, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't want to go get a 9-to-5 job. Fine. Like I said earlier, I don't know of a single person that actually is just in love with their job. Now, there are some people out there that are like that, but I've personally never met one outside of the military. I should put it that way. I've never met one that's just absolutely in love with their job. Most people I come across, they're working their job because they've learned a skill set that they know that pays a lot of money, or at least hopefully that they're trying to learn a skill set that can pay them a decent amount of money so that they can sustain their lifestyle. All right. That's why most people go get a job that I've come across. So if you don't want to do that, then the only other alternatives you have is you can go start your own business. Like my man AM1. AM1 is a videographer. He's the guy that did the opening graphics to my video, where you see my logo spinning around and you hear the music, my little bumper video. This is the guy that designed that. I paid him some money to do that. Right? He has a talent and a skill set that he felt was more valuable, and he quit the corporate world and went and started up his own business. But I can also promise you this. I promise you, AM1 will admit that working for himself is probably a lot harder than it was working for somebody else. Now, it's probably way more rewarding because he can, quote unquote, control his time, which in theory is not true for most entrepreneurs. But I can almost promise you, him working for himself is way harder than working for somebody else. So that's option one. You can go start a business. But the problem with that is most people aren't entrepreneurial minded. They have no idea what they would start a business in. And then even if you give them ideas and tell them how they can go execute it, they just don't have a desire to do it because it's just not in them. You have to have that in you to be an entrepreneur. Right? Like I say, learning entrepreneurial, this is something I learned in middle school when I was selling candy bars. Like I literally would my mother used to buy us snacks, and I would take the snacks that I was supposed to eat and I would go to school and sell them. And nobody taught me this. It just dawned on me one day, man, I could probably make some money off that. I see kids got the little quarters and 50 cents. I can get me a little bit of money. So I started selling snacks. And that was my first, introduction into being a so-called entrepreneur, right? I never became a full-blown one, but I've always dibbled and dabbled with side businesses ever since I was in elementary school. What else? So that's option one. Option 2 is hitting the lottery. Well, most of us are never going to be rich, or most of us are never going to get rich from hitting the lottery. So you can scratch that off the list. Option 3, you can go become homeless if you don't want to work. But then again, even as a homeless person, you got to work. Somebody got to stand on them corners and hold them signs up. I mean, if you're not out there on the corner asking people for money, nobody's going to give you no money. Nobody's going to actively go out there and look for you around the corner or under the bridge just to give you money, right? So even as a homeless person, you gotta work, right? What's another option? Well, you can always go back home and live with your parents and have them take care of you until they go take their dirt nap. I don't know how well that's going to work for you. I mean, I've had relatives that have actually done that. Some of my older relatives actually did that. And as a matter of fact, I got a current relative who did that until my grandmother and grandfather passed away. And now this current relative, he is literally, the last time I checked on him, he was living at a homeless shelter. And he's like 25 years old because he chooses not to work and he never wanted to go learn a skill. He would rather literally be living on the streets than come holler at me. I teach him IT and go get him help him go get a job. He would rather live on the streets, smoking his dope, doing whatever drugs he does, because that's what he chooses to do. And he's a grown man. I'm not about to go out there and change his mind, right? What's another option? Another option is you can always find somebody else to take care of you. Now, if you're a woman, you might be able to make that happen, depending upon various factors. But as a dude, I don't know too many dudes that's getting flued out and taken care of by other people, whether it's a woman, a man, or whatever the hell you're into. I don't know of any dudes that to where that's a reality for them. So I'm saying, if you want to get off the corporate plantation, and once again, I don't know too many people that actually want to be a part of the corporate plantation, but you're going to probably have to have something else to do. And that something else, whether it's starting a job or whatever, is probably going to require you to go out there and work and slave, oftentimes harder than you would for Mr. Charlie at the job. That's the reality, right? So Gen Z is not unique in this aspect of not wanting to work. It's just, I think the difference is just our social skills. How millennials, early millennials, Gen Xers, and baby boomers, we were socialized outside to interact with other people. Where we learn how to maneuver and navigate social interactions, which plays, a crucial part in navigating corporate politics and water cooler politics and all that crap. Just getting along with your coworkers and just knowing how to do basic stuff to get hired and not be seen as a weirdo by other people, right? You guys, where you have the advantage, Gen Z, you guys have had access to all the latest and greatest technological tools known to man. Excuse me. Like I said, I have a son in the 4th grade. My son started school during the pandemic. He was at home on a damn school-issued tablet going to class. My son has had a tablet used for his educational development since kindergarten. I don't remember any books except for the books me and my wife buy for him. But I don't recall the school issuing out any books to aid in his learning, right? So you guys have had access to all this stuff, but it just seems like you guys aren't utilizing these tools to your advantage to where you can bypass the corporate structure. It seems like a lot of y'all are just using these tools for entertainment and to come online and have bitching and crying sessions about life, looking for digital hugs and pats on the back, right? Because you said in your video, y'all have the opportunity to be influencers, but the majority of influencers don't make any money. You gave the example, OnlyFans. I told you the average OnlyFans person that does adult entertainment on there, they make only about $150 a month at max. Everybody's not making $10,000, $20,000, $1 million off OnlyFans. The majority of them are making about $150 a month if they're lucky. YouTubers, most YouTubers don't even get to 10,000 subscribers. And then those that are monetized, you barely make $100 a month. I know a YouTuber right now that has 50, 60,000 subs. He gets like 2 to 4 million views a month. He only made $15,000 off YouTube last year. I get at max maybe 30,000 views a month, a few hundred views on my videos if I'm lucky. And I made probably double, almost triple what he made off YouTube. And he gets millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views a day. And he only made like $15,000, $16,000 last year off of YouTube. So, and he's not even the norm. The norm is really, though, the norm is most YouTubers barely make $100 if they're lucky. So I don't know how being a social media influencer is the wave. Like that's an alternative to the corporate structure, so that you don't have to go to work and put in a 9 to 5 when y'all aren't even making any money off that. Like I just don't understand it. Right? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm not telling you that you got to go get a job and be a part of the corporate structure, but me telling you to go learn a skill set, whether you like the profession or not. Because listen, if I had my way, I would be probably a traveling photographer, right? I love photography. I took a photography class when I was like 6 or 7 years old, learning how to, I went through the whole process of film photography, learning how to develop the prints by dipping into that damn liquid, the whole shebang. I was like, man, this is actually pretty cool. And then in my early 20s, I started up a so-called photography business. I done photographed some rappers from Atlanta, everybody from Gucci Mane to OJ the Juice Man, and some other celebrities out there. But my photography business never made enough money for me to justify doing it full time. I mean, it make a couple $100 here and there, but everybody's not interested in getting a damn picture. And I wasn't interested in becoming a club photographer, being up in the club with a bunch of drunk, high people photographing them all night long, right? So it wasn't making enough money for me to justify trying to pursue it as a full-time business, or hell, even a part-time business. It got reduced to just a hobby. And now I just got a bunch of cameras sitting in my corner over here that's been collecting dust for years now, right? But where did I make money? Well, I learned a skill. I learned IT. I started learning IT when I was 22. Now, was I in love with IT? No. When I was learning IT, going through my courses and training, I was in class dozing off half the damn time. I was thinking of everything in the world, like, man, I can't wait to get the hell up out of this class and just go do something else. All right. Well, then after I got married and the birth of my son, my oldest son, that's when I really started taking tech a little bit more serious than I had been taking it before, because now I got another human being I'm responsible for feeding and taking care of my wife and all that stuff. So I decided, let me learn this stuff, get really proficient with it, because I don't have to like it, but I do like the paychecks that it delivers. And the paychecks are pretty damn high in relation to what I do, right? To afford the lifestyle that I'm able to afford for myself and my family. So I'm not in love with tech like that. I'm not in love with what I do for a living, but I am in love when the damn paycheck hits my bank account and I see all them damn numbers up in there and I can go. As a matter of fact, my Jeep was just, y'all know, I drive a Jeep Wrangler, right? Friday, after the hurricane, my Jeep decided to tap out on me. Wouldn't start, wouldn't do nothing. Luckily, I had to get a jump and I got it to start, and I took it to this gas station on my way to work, cut the car off, came out the gas station, couldn't crank my damn Jeep back up. So I had to ask somebody for a damn jump. I got the jump and I drove it straight to the damn dealership to figure out what the hell was wrong with my damn truck. Anyways, they told me what the problem was. Here's the thing. Yesterday, I went to go pick my Jeep up. I had to pay $3,500 to get my Jeep out of the shop, right? Now, I got the money to pay it. It didn't even, it really was going to cost $4,000, but a part didn't come in, so they only knocked it down to $3,500. I was in a position where I could just whip out $3,500. All right, here it is. Give me my damn keys so I can get in the Jeep and keep on riding. You know what I'm saying? But even when I didn't have my Jeep for them days, I got a Lexus sitting outside as well. You know what I'm saying? That I was driving for the past 2 or 3 days. But the point I'm making is I'm working in a profession that I'm not necessarily in love with, but I do like the paychecks, and it affords me these options and opportunities to where I can have multiple cars sitting outside that are completely paid for, or I can go down to the damn Jeep, to the mechanic and drop $3,500 on them to get my damn Jeep back out because I want to drive my damn Jeep around and do those things. Becoming an influencer online, trying to be a photographer, dude, I'll probably be homeless out in these streets, man. Wife and kids would have left me. Like I'd be looking bad and crazy out here. So my whole point in this whole speech is not about whether or not you love the corporate environment. It's about what can you get and extract from the corporate environment to enhance your life. Whether you want to work there because you want to get promotions and all that stuff, have your name on the wall, employee of the month and all that crap, or you want to get enough money so that you can use this money to fund your lifestyle so you can pursue other things like my Tech G business, my IT business. Where do you think the money came from to fund all this? I didn't go take out a damn business loan. I used the disposable income from my job, tap dancing for Mr. Charlie at the corporate plantation to fund my business and grow my business over the past 4 years. We just gotten it to the point where it's at now where, I'm making some decent money, but still not enough to quit my job. But I'm making enough money where I can knock out other little bills here and there every single time they come in and not think twice about them, right? And then you say everybody should have a plan. That sounds great in theory. It sounds great for a YouTube video. How many people do you know in real life actually sit down and take time to put a plan together, right? And then when you do put a plan together, are they putting some pie in the sky plan together? Because my man AM1 is up in here, right? AM1, he has his channel. He always talks about this thing, skills and resources, right? Instead of people on here crying about white people, racism, police brutality, what women are doing and relationship BS, he's like, hey, some of y'all brothers and sisters out there, or whoever's listening to this content, maybe you should learn a skill set so that you can enhance your life to where you can put up buffers and barriers to where you don't have to deal with this BS, right? But when you talk about that stuff, nobody wants to listen. So I come on here preaching and teaching. I'll be like, all y'all got all these problems, and y'all all want to be content creators crying about the same crap, women, white people, and racism, and all this stupid crap. Why don't you would probably have a way higher chance of becoming a successful content creator if you actually took the time to make a video or a channel on something that you know a lot about or have a deep interest in, right? I know a lot about tech and IT. That's my professional background. So it only makes sense I would probably create a tech channel where I educate people on IT and tech, and in exchange I get rewarded for it somehow, some way. But if I came on here just crying and bitching and whining about the corporate environment, I mean, I might get a couple views here and there, but you think that's enough views for me to quit my job and become a full-time influencer? That's insanity right there, in my opinion. But I'm not here to tell y'all what to do. I'm just telling y'all, I just think you're looking at this corporate environment wrong. It's not a Gen X versus Gen Z thing, because nobody is in love with the job. I just think you guys, Gen Z, haven't figured out how to utilize your time at the job, assuming you got to go get one, figuring out what all can you learn from this business so that you can potentially start up your own company one day. Like when you go to work, like when I was going to work at some of my other jobs, I wasn't just going there just to clock in. I was going in there studying how the hell they did what they did. Who were they talking to? I would make friends with the bosses all the way up to this. Matter of fact, the last company I worked for, I knew the damn CEO on a first name basis. And I would sit there and pick their brains about, little things here and there, because in my mind, I was like, I don't really plan on working here for 20 years. When I do leave here, I want to be able to take something from this company and apply it towards my own endeavors, whether I'm becoming their competition or I'm just applying it in a different arena in life. Are y'all doing that? Or are y'all just going to work bitching and complaining because you don't want to be there from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock? Because when you're working a 9 to 5, let's keep it a buck. Between the times you're taking your smoke breaks, you're at the water cooler, you're at lunch, you sit there chit-chatting with your not wife, husband, but your work wife and your work husband, how much time are you actually working? So you're there 8 hours a day, you're probably putting in a real solid 4 hours of work at max. Because when you're sitting at your desk, I promise you, y'all are watching YouTube videos and shopping on Amazon and looking at your phone, watching Pornhub or something like that. I know what y'all do. Y'all could be using that time to learn a skill set, up your skills so you can go get a different job or learn some other entrepreneurial stuff so you can possibly start your own business or just find something to truly invest your time and energy into so that you can escape the corporate plantation and quit and actually go out there and do something else that brings you fulfillment in life. I don't think a lot of y'all are doing that. I think a lot of y'all are just there hating life. Oh man, my job sucks, man. And then you're just there, just complaining. Instead of trying to learn how to better yourself, even at this crappy environment, you can still learn things to try to better yourself, especially with access to all the technology that y'all have. That's why I think it's silly when I see y'all on here bitching and crying, because I know look, I'm around Gen Z all the time. I told you guys, I'm a college professor. I teach cybersecurity. Most of my students are Gen Z people. I see what they do all day. Most of them, they could be in there learning. Matter of fact, today is a good example, as a matter of fact. Today, we had a guy come through that works for IBM talking about the IBM mainframes. And he was talking about it from the perspective of how a lot of mainframe developers, or whatever they're called, they're mostly dudes that are in their 50s because they know how to do this old computer language called COBOL, or whatever however it's pronounced. And basically, he's trying to tell these young people, it's like, hey, man, there's going to be a lot of opportunities where you can make a lot of money because these older people are starting to get older and they're going to retire. But these systems still got to keep churning because all of your data sits on these systems. When you go to the ATM machine and you want to pull out some money, well, these mainframes are responsible for making sure the money that's in your bank account is in your bank account and only you have access or authorized to get access to it because you know the account number and the PIN number and all the other stuff, right? Somebody still needs to maintain those systems, and it's not a lot of young people that are doing it. Most of these guys are older people. They're in their 50s, approaching their 60s, and they're going to want to start retiring. So he's giving this whole presentation to a classroom full of about 22, 23, 24-year-olds, right? Trying to get them interested in it and talking about the money-making opportunities and the free training that comes with it, because they're like, we're training people for free on this. You just go in here, start learning this stuff for free. Then you start attending some of these networking events, and you might be able to go out there and get a job. And the money they're paying, he was saying something that they pay on average about $10,000 to $15,000 more than your standard average IT salary. Somebody working like a help desk, system administrator, network administrator, whatever. They come out making more money initially. So I'm sitting here looking at the presentation, looking at my students. Most of them in there dozing off, sleeping. They ain't even paying the speaker no attention. I'm just like, here y'all are, I'm thinking to myself, here's another valuable opportunity. Somebody is telling y'all there is a gold mine over this hill over here. All you got to do is just go do this free training. And they even said during the presentation, we're not expecting you to be an expert on this. We know you're coming in knowing hardly anything. We just want you to do the initial foundational training. And that's enough to get you into the door so we can start talking to you and preparing you for future opportunities to start learning this stuff, and you'll become a subject matter expert later on as you start doing it. Most of them were like just totally disinterested. I just like, oh my goodness. I'm looking at the damn train like, I'm gonna go sign up. I'm gonna go sign up and do it. So I can get, just to see what it's like, right? But this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So once again, are you making the most out of this 9-to-5 stuff? Because none of us want to be there, but there is something that you can extract from it and try to apply towards your life. I just don't think a lot of y'all are doing that or even thinking that far ahead. I just think a lot of y'all just expect, oh, I'm breathing air. I'm a human being. I'm blinking my eyes and I should just be rewarded everything. It's like, that's not how the world works, B. So you're on here telling people to quit their job. I mean, I don't know how well that's going to work, man. I don't know how well that's going to work, but it is what it is. They're ignoring the advice from the guest speaker. Then when they graduate, they will complain. Yeah, listen, I got students that I dealt with last semester. Some of them are in my inbox right now talking about, man, can I sign up and do this class? I'm like, well, you're going to have to pay me because now you're coming through my personal business. And my personal business charges more money than what you were getting charged when you were at the institution I work at. And guess what? I'm not giving out discounts. So, it's the weirdest thing. Where's Authentic Talk Podcast, man? I want him to come up here. I'm gonna put this link out here again. I want him to come up here and clarify a couple things, man. But anybody else want to come up? AM1, somebody want to come up here and share your thoughts on this? Y'all are free to hit the link. I got a little bit of time. My sons ain't got to go to karate practice. Shout out to my man Before the Billions. I need to go sub to this brother as well. He has a great IT channel talking about how you can make it, doing networking and just a whole bunch of stuff that I think is valuable information. But yeah, man. So, that's my speech, man. So I don't want to, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole of making endless Gen Z videos because I want the views and the clicks. I'm not going to do that. I thought about doing a video going through reading the comments on that last video that I did where people are in there crying and complaining and calling me old and out of touch. I don't even want to do that anymore. I think I've made my point. The point is, nobody really wants to work. We all want to be rich. We all want to have access to endless money to go do what we want to do. But the reality is most of us don't have an extraordinary talent like that. We're not professional athletes. We're not professional entertainers, singers, dancers, rappers, actors, and all that crap. Most of us don't come from an affluent background where we got rich relatives that'll just front us money or allow us to lounge around. The overwhelming majority of us are going to have to go out there and go to work somehow, some way. But we all control what we do. Meaning you might start off life working minimum wage, flipping burgers and putting salt on French fries, but you don't have to stay there because of the access to technology and information that is at your disposal. YouTube University is a real thing. It is a real thing. People really get certified off of my YouTube channel and go get real jobs, right? And there are thousands of other channels that can educate you on whatever the hell it is that you want to learn. It's just a matter of, are you applying this technology and using it to enhance your life, to up your skills? Unfortunately, a lot of people don't. Young, old, Gen Z, X, millennial, boomers, all of them. That's the problem with why people don't want to work. They don't want to work because they don't like, it's not like they don't want to work. The real problem is people just aren't doing things to put themselves in a better position to where they don't have to work or they can choose to do something else. Because where's old buddy at in the comments? Let me find his comment. I mean, I can prove it right here. Where this guy's comment? Right here. Here we go. This guy right here says he's 60 years old and he agrees that he doesn't want to work for anyone but himself. My man's is 60. Selmo, 20 to 25 years ago, what were you doing, bro? To where you could have possibly changed that. I mean, you could have, I'm not saying that you haven't done nothing. You don't have to give me all the details of your life, but I'm just saying, 10 years ago, you could have done something to try to change that. I mean, you probably still can. Most people do. The point is, most people don't. They get off on crying and complaining. And look, crying and complaining and looking for hugs online is a big business on YouTube. As far as the influencer space goes, like there's this channel I'm sub to of this woman. She makes videos about school teachers who quit teaching. She got like 70, 80,000 subs. And her whole channel is dedicated to interviewing school teachers, telling their sob stories about why they quit teaching school. I mean, some of them have legit stories as to why they should quit, legit horror stories. And it's like, yeah, you probably should quit. But a lot of people come to her channel because it's like an online therapy session. They like to hear these stories over and over about how it sucks to be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? They find comfort in that, especially if you are an active teacher dealing with elementary and high school kids and them kids in there cursing you out all damn day long. You come home and watch a YouTube video and somebody's telling you why you should quit. You're like, man, I'm gonna keep watching this. It's digital therapy. They like to hear it. It makes them feel good. It gets the dopamine flowing. But at the end of the day, is it really helping you? Is it really helping you to change and transition so that you don't have to do this thing that you claim you don't like to do? Are you investing equal amount of time into learning another skill that can get you up out of that shitty situation so you can go get another job, make more money, or become an entrepreneur? I mean, I just don't know of a lot of people that do it. I do know of a lot of people that would rather watch the woe is me content over and over, and then they want to become the woe is me content creator so that they can attract a bunch of woe is me's to keep watching their woe is me videos. Like there's a whole woe is me industry out there online for that crap. But even the woe is me content creators, a lot of them ain't making no money. They make a couple bucks to go buy, a pizza or something like that, or put some gas in the gas tank, but you ain't making enough money to finance your whole lifestyle off that stuff. Most people. It's a weird thing, man. I guess you don't want to come up, man. Should have got your boy Psycho Candy in your IT class. He on Rumble now. Yeah, so Psycho Candy, listen, that ain't my boy, but he's a little out there. So I'm just gonna leave that where it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm also noticing a lot of Gen Z people getting online, ranting and venting and over exaggerating the difficulty times, bathing in each other's doom and gloom while also giving bad advice and coaching. Yeah, that's a major I don't want to say big business, but that's a popular trend online, is to come online and cry and complain about something. I mean, you see it in these TikTok videos where these women, they'll be going to the gym scantily dressed, and then they get mad because the dude is looking at their ass. It's like, well, you got it all out there. I mean, you in my line of sight while I'm working out. Like, how am I supposed to not look at it? And then you want to make a video crying because dudes is looking at you, but you got your ass cheeks all out. Like, what do you think's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's a trend. But unless you got like a huge following, most of them aren't making any money. Oh, that old dude you roasted who said he was getting his life together, and his sister. Oh yeah. So I felt, look, that dude still makes videos, or he still pops up. Macbone, that's his name. So some of y'all are like, what are you talking about? There's a so-called content creator out there, goes by the name of Macbone. He's a dude I interact with on my other YouTube channel, under my other account, where I be in these YouTube streets, listen to all this ratchet entertainment, right? This is my professional channel, and I got my ratchet channel. My ratchet channel, I be in all the ratchet areas, listening to all the crap, making all the jokes. But there's this guy, he came online, he's 50 years old. He's trying to give all this wonderful advice to young people about how to get the women, right? Anyways, he on here like, I know all the tricks of the trade on how to get the women. I'm listening. I'm like, bro, you 50 years old. Like, why is this the only thing that you claim to know how to do? Anyways, he gets to talking and keeps talking. Turns out he lives with his sister, and his sister had recently kicked him out of the house because he refused to take the trash out, and he ain't had no job. And so I was listening. I'm just like, why are you online trying to give young men advice when you don't have a job? You claim your only skill in life, since you've been a legal adult, is talking to women and trying to, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't seem to be working. You're living with your sister, and she kicks you out the house because you don't take out the trash. I'm just trying to understand, like, why are you online wasting your time talking to people? Why are you online trying to be a mentor to young people? There might be a legit young man out there who has no guidance whatsoever, and he's coming online, listen to a grown dude in his 50s, give him life advice on how to be a fucking failure. You know what I'm saying? That just bothered the hell out of me, right? And I see this a lot with other. Listen, I'm trying to keep this channel professional. We're trying to keep it professional and monetized, right? But that's a form of the crap that I'm talking about that goes on online, where people just come on here and they just get this weird advice. Or they try to make it seem like they got everything figured out. But when you break it down to its core, what you're really dealing with is you're listening to a bunch of people who have lack of motivation, right? They have lack of desire to try to better their situation with all the access to the technology and tools. And it's not just young people, it's older people too, right? It's older people too. But as it relates directly to this whole Gen Z conversation, it's not because the job sucks. I mean, although the job might suck, it's just that they are not using the options and opportunities available to them to their maximum potential, to where they can bypass dealing with the suck over here and go do their own thing over here, or whatever the case may be. They're not exercising it to the best of their abilities. That's the real problem. It's called game, G. See, I'm so far removed from it, I forgot the word was called game, how to get the girls. But this is so-called game too, I guess. Life game, the game of life. But that's the problem with these Gen Z versus millennials and Xer conversations. Nobody wants to go to work like that. Very few people really enjoy what they do at their job like that. Most of us just got good at it because we like the paychecks that come along with it. That doesn't mean that we're in love with it. But those of us who plan on leaving, or who always talk about you want to leave, the majority of them aren't making any real active plans to leave. They're not doing it because they can do it. The options and opportunities are out there for you to do it if that's what you really want to do. But most don't. Hence the reason why I got a dude that's 60 years old in my chat talking about how he agrees and he wishes he don't want to go to work either. It's like, well, when you were 50 and 40, what were you doing then? I mean, I'm just asking questions. I don't know. Anyways, nobody wants to come up and talk about this, man. Oh wait, is AM1 you coming up? I see you say, give me a second. I'm gonna drop this link one more time, man. But I really want my man's here to come up. That's the subject matter of this video, who's on the Summer Jam screen. I want him to come up here, man, and just elaborate on his position as to why Gen Z gives zero fucks about the workspace, the workplace, or the workforce, it says. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be making too many more Gen Z videos. I don't want this to turn into a bashing Gen Z. Look, all of y'all aren't bad. I'm just I don't want that. But it's y'all have a lot of it's a lot of y'all that suck. But then again, the same could be said for my generation. Like I got a friend of mine I've known since like 4th grade. I'm 3 months older than him, but he looks like he's 10 years older than me, and it's because of decisions and choices we made in life. So we both come from 2-parent households. Matter of fact, his parents made more money than my parents because matter of fact, when we were kids, he would always have all the video games, all the Jordans. You know, his parents really made sure him and his brother had everything going on in life, which was great. We both went to college. He went to a different school. I went to a different school. Anyways, when we were in college, this is where things really changed for him. In college, he decided to stick his toe into the drug dealing world. Started selling drugs, got caught, got arrested, did some time, probation. Anyways, a lot of doors had closed for him. So anyways, fast forward, I'm about 27 years old. I'm in the Army at this time, living in Augusta, Georgia. And I'm going to this suit store jacket, looking for a suit jacket. I go in there, and guess who I see working at the suit store? My mans that I've known since we were like 3rd or 4th grade, working at the suit store. And I ain't, prior to that, I hadn't seen him since high school. So it was like a whole 10-year window went by. I ain't seen him. Just ran into him on a random store. We link back up, chop it up. Oh man, our lives are like night and day, bro. Night and day. Like I said, he looked like he's 10 years older than me, but in reality, I'm actually 3 months older than him. Anyways, we get to talking. I remember he was asking me if I can help him get a job at the base. Because at the time I was working, I had a top secret clearance, and I was just doing some old secret squirrel stuff for the military. I was like, I asked him about his background. He told me. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work. At least as far as what I do, I know you ain't gonna be able to work here. Right. Anyways, fast forward, we kind of lose contact, but we still friends on Facebook. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to see him whining and crying about racism and white supremacy online, right? This was around the time the George Floyd thing was going on. I mean, he going hard online. White people, cops, da-da-da-da-da. I'm just like, I see you getting a lot of likes, and I ain't saying nothing to him, but I'm like, I see you getting a lot of likes and reshares and interactions. Everybody's like, yeah, y'all know how it was back in 2020, right? But I'm like, I wonder if he's ever going to make a status update telling people how when he was in college, he got arrested for selling drugs, and that his drug dealing antics closed a lot of doors and opportunities on him that he either couldn't open back up or it's going to be extremely hard to reopen. Right. So my point is, he's over here whining and crying about the system, the man holding him down, all the stereotypical crap. But he ain't telling the full story as to why the system and the man is holding him down. It's because you made a stupid fucking decision when you were in college. Like, you didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted money, you could have went and asked your mother and your father, or you could have went and got a job like I did when I was in college. I worked at I was on a scholarship at college, and I still had a job working at the cafeteria because I wanted extra money to go do crap. Like, you could have did that. But, so it's not just a young thing. It's a young and old, it's a young and old thing. People just don't want to own up to this stupid crap, man. They just want to blame everybody and not utilize their so-called skills and talents that they've honed and crafted to create more opportunities for themselves. It's just easier just to whine and cry. You dig? He won't come on here. He will, however, make a low-key video to shade you indirectly. Nah, listen, me and him know each other through YouTube for like 5-6 years. So, in fact, he's a moderator on my other channel. So he's at a mod. He's been a moderator for like 5-6 years on my other channel. So there ain't no beef or drama. It's just, I just want to respond to this because he's making a lot of videos talking about this subject. And so I was like, I made a couple of videos after I did that video talking about that news report, and then I seen him doing something. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and address it. I just want the actual current info as far as the industry goes. It seems everyone is afraid of AI. I want to understand it. Well, it depends. So let's talk about this strike that's going on. All right, we got the strike that's going on with the ports all up and down the East Coast. And one of the main reasons, from my understanding, is that they don't want those ports to become automated, where it's a bunch of quote unquote robots moving the cargo around, which is going to displace a lot of human employees. Right. That's one of the main things I've heard. So the thing is, AI, it's coming. Well, it's already here, and it's not going anywhere. And it's only going to become more and more advanced as the years and decades roll on, right? So if you're in one of these positions as to where you're fearful that your job could be automated away, then it's probably time for you to learn a skill set that isn't as easily automated, that can't be easily automated away like that. That's the reality of the situation, right? You're going to have to learn a skill, up your skill set. You might even have to switch industries depending upon what it is you do and what you think you might want to do, because AI ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here. It's going to be integrated into your life way more than it currently is, whether you notice it or not. But if you are terrified that you're going to be replaced by a so-called robot because of what you do, then it's in your best interest to go pick another career field or up your skill sets to where you can lessen the chances of you being automated away. So there's no need to necessarily fear it. You just have to understand where we are and what world we currently live in, and you need to adjust accordingly. All right. That's the only real advice I can give you. Now, what you choose to do, I don't know, but you're going to have to make a decision. AM1, what's cracking? Can you hear me?
Yeah. You sound good. Can you hear me okay?
Can everybody hear AM1? It sounds low in my ear.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying this different mic setup, and I don't know if I have it all dialed in right.
Hey, y'all, somebody type a 1 if y'all can hear AM1.
I sound low to you though, G?
Oh, no. Yeah, they're saying you sound low in the chat, but yeah, you sound low to me as well.
How about now? I'm trying to turn it up.
You sound louder. Does he sound louder to y'all?
I think I turned them. Okay, yeah. I see I get louder levels now.
Oh, let me look on my phone. Hold on. Oh, somebody says you're good now. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're good. I can hear you on my phone. AM1, this is the man, the myth. So this is what AM1 did for me. Let me go ahead and play it. So he did this right here. So AM1 lifestyle, that is the guy, this high yellow, light-skinned dude, you know what I'm saying? Light-skinned brothers are taking over again, just in case y'all didn't know. But that's the guy that did that design for my video. So if you guys need some video artwork of sorts, that's your dude right there. AM1, what's good, my dude?
All right, so we gotta be specific about it. Motion graphic design, videography. I'm a specialist about it. I'm sensitive about my arts. We got to get it right. Okay.
All right, y'all heard it from him. Motion graphics design and videography. All right. Light-skinned dudes are also sensitive.
They've been saying that since the 80s. Shit. No. So to clarify it even more, because we got to give the designers their props. It was another designer who designed the logo. I saw G's logo and said, send me that, because I knew I could take it as long as it had the right art file and I could animate it. So we was able to take the design, because the designer set it up pretty much right, but I had to like kind of redesign it a certain way to make it be able to break down and animate like that. But yeah, doing motion graphic design, videography, been doing it for 20 years, but professionally, full-time, 9 years. So better part of a decade. Specialized skills for the win, for sure. If you're going to play this game like you don't want to be in a regular corporate office setting, I'm definitely not somebody who's good with authority figures and kind of business minded, in the sense that it's like, well, wait a minute, how much time am I spending here relative to the money I'm getting paid? Could I be making more? Is there more value here for me? So then let me put in the work that it takes to get specialized in a skill set that's in demand, that makes it to where I can kind of write my own ticket. And it's not easy, but everybody can't just be like, I'm quitting my job. Interesting content. I see exactly what you're saying. And shout out to Mark. We all know Mark. Shout out to Authentic Talk
like
Podcast.
50 names, yeah.
Yeah, y'all exchanging it. So I gotta
We'll
just
call him Mark.
Right. But no, and I rock with Mark too. Me and him chat offline, and I think he's a solid dude. But because how old is he? Like, is he even 30 yet?
I'm not sure how old he is.
Okay. And again, everything I'm saying to you here, I'll be saying directly to him if he was here. Me and him chat and are cool and been cool for years, similar to us. So it's not like us, trying to talk shit about him, but more so just the interesting way of where, interacting with this YouTube thing, the hot trends that catch on with the topics. Oh, doomy and gloomy, red pill, black pill, complain, more so than solutions, and just looking at people making an economy out of that, a little industry out of it. And I'm like, fam, this ain't it. This ain't it.
That's what it is. It's an economy of whining and crying. I mean, just like when we see in the, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, but he perfected the blueprint for how to make this shame, blame. Matter of fact, shout out to Thai City, the shame, blame, and explain economy of sorts that has been like a blueprint for other people or other markets to kind of, go out there and, figure out their own quote unquote SBE style type of content of whining and crying just to attract more viewers to view it. But anyway, so you worked the regular job and now you're a full-blown entrepreneur. So when you were at the job, I assume you didn't like your job, right?
I mean, pretty much every job I've worked has been either just not liking it, just getting by, nickel and diming it, just kind of like a job.
So when you decided to quit your job, like what was well, let me back that up. Well, no. So what made you want to quit your job? And prior to you quitting, exactly what did you do that led up to your successful transition from being a 9-to-5 employee to being a full-blown entrepreneur?
All right, so I shouldn't even say this because this is another thing that shoots a lot of young guys in the foot. But I mean, my whole life I've always been into art, illustration. I always want to, be an artist when I grew up. That's what I said when I was a kid. So started from, drawing, illustration, all that. It was in my family. My uncle, illustrator, painter, my older brother, but always that. And then got big into like rap, hip hop stuff, making beats, rapping and whatnot. And then that kind of parlayed over into me throwing shows, throwing events. I was doing people's flyers. And since I was rapping, I had my own little networks of people. So started curating my own events because of hip hop, graphic design, was doing streetwear kind of stuff. And again, tying it into the whole event thing, around the time of leaving my last full-time job, I was throwing a lot of parties, a lot of events in Oakland, all around the Bay Area, and really learning boots on the ground about marketing, events, and all kind of different things, from fashion shows to networking events to day parties, nighttime parties. So it kind of just built from sort of the hip hop music situation, but not really the music. I want to drive that point home because everybody think they want to be a rapper, and it's like, fam, it's the behind the scenes stuff that's really where it's at. But it was really learning about marketing from a real boots on the ground kind of strategy, and wearing multiple hats and building that out. And then it all came full circle back to me picking up a camera and taking the years of dealing with Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, putting it all together, but realizing video, as we were going into the social media age even more. Again, this is 10 years ago, but this, we digging in on Instagram and these things. So the content, social media age really taking off even more. Oh, if I get handy with the video and the motion graphic stuff, everybody's content, level playing field, I'm going to win. And I hedged the bet on that, and I've been winning. So yeah, it was all the music industry stuff, the rap stuff, and seeing, just kind of having a vision for where this was going to go, and took the chance and really had to just break out and get it popping.
Oh, so you didn't just decide to just quit one day and pick up a camera and just like, let me go record some music videos and do some promos for people. I mean, that wasn't the process.
No, I had a plan and a foundation laid. At that point, I had already been throwing multiple events. My name was kind of known in the Bay. I was doing events and graphic design and video production stuff for big event venues. Yoshi's, one of the big Oakland spots, the legacy spots. Ankh Marketing, the big crew that was throwing all the big events, Most Def, and whenever Erykah Badu or Lauryn Hill would come out. So I was tapped in. So I knew that when I cut the cord on the regular day job thing, I was going to have a parachute, and I had other business interests and investments going at the time. So I was going to be good to fully be able to transition and immerse myself and get my client base up. Because this is, adult lifetime of working regular jobs to, okay, I got to really get it out the mud, as they say, and sink or swim. And sure enough, did that.
Yeah. So that seems like the sane and rational thing to do. So you had a lot of time invested into something, learning your craft, before you just said, F it, I'll quit because I don't like the corporate 9-to-5 structure. Now, how come that type of advice isn't being passed around more, as opposed to just quit your job and just go out there and do something else? I mean, because, my thing is, I know people just do stuff because, okay, you're filming a 10-minute YouTube video, you're only going to get so detailed with it. But I rarely, if ever, because I've had this complaint about another YouTube, Dr. Boyce Watkins, I'll just say his name because he loves his name being mentioned. One of my criticisms of him, he got the Black Business School, and he's like, start a business, do this, do that. But he never makes a video kind of going into the nitty gritty of how to actually get the process rolling. And it's just like, it just sounds good in theory to start a business, but some people actually need to be walk step by step on how to actually accomplish that, instead of just encouraging people to quit and go out there and do your own thing. I mean, we would all like to do, like, let's just take me teaching IT. This wasn't something that I just woke up one day and decided to do. This was a culmination of almost 20 years of knowledge of working and doing this, and actually teaching this when I was in the Army, learning the art of teaching, learning the art of putting presentations together, learning the art of public speaking, to where I got to this point where I'm at now with my own business. And even my own business, I can't, at this present moment, I just can't quit my job and do my business full time. At least not yet. But, you know, it's not just something that I just woke up and decided this is what I'm going to do. It's been years of learning a hard skill, a valuable skill, you know, regardless of what the skill set is, but mine is tech, to where I figured out, okay, how can I use this to my advantage so that I can possibly go do my own thing if and when I decide to go do my own thing. Or if I want to jump ship and go to another company, I can do that because I don't like the environment over here, instead of me just quitting just to quit, or me just bitching and whining and complaining just to bitch, whine, and complain because I don't like the 9-to-5 setup. You understand what I'm saying? It just seems like there's not enough emphasis placed on those type of conversations versus just the so-called, you know, we just gloss over and just say, just quit. Quit and go do what? With what skill? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
how you know, what you gonna do? Rely on game to get you through and your good looks? Like, how's this gonna work?
yeah, it's like people know it's super grimy out there, but act like they don't know exactly how grimy it is, or it's just hyper emotionalism that takes the logic out of it. Like if you're not really planning a foundation, like you said, 20 years worth of knowledge, and even now you're not fully cutting the cord and pulling the trigger on that next move because you got to be strategic. You got responsibilities, family, and all that. It's like, and I'm gonna touch back on that, right? Because you know, a lot of the younger guys we've been listening to complain about women for years are saying wild stuff like, well, I don't need to have this job where I'm working for nothing and barely making ends meet because the women don't like me. I don't have a woman laying next to me and I don't have a family and kids anyway. So why bother? What does it matter? And now that's always a weird thing for me to hear, because I've been hearing that point for years, because I've always said wild things in these sort of like red pill spaces until they, you know, more or less wanted to kick me all the way out. Was, well, you're not owed a woman anyway, and you're going to have to just be a man with or without a woman anyway. Like I thought that was just standard operating procedure. Uh, Silly me. So when I say that kind of stuff, like nobody owes you anything, you understand, like that's never guaranteed, right? And they're like, well, why should I even care about being my own sustainable man if I don't have a woman in my life? And it's like, wait, man.
You know, it's funny. I got a student in my class right now who watches a lot of red pill content, and he'll be coming in here talking about this stuff. I don't heard most of these people. And you know, I try to pretend like I don't know what that. I try to pretend like I don't know who the content creator is. Like, he don't mention Obsidian and, you know, just some other people. But anyways, we're in here. I'm teaching him. He's in a course to learn about cybersecurity, and he's doing all the things he's supposed to do to learn the stuff and master it. But I get the feeling he's only learning it because he wants to make more money so he can get more women. Like, women is the end goal for why he's learning this skill, as opposed, because that's all his, like, it doesn't matter what conversation we're having about tech, he'll find a way to weave in the dating relationship aspect into it. And I just keep telling this young, because he's like 26 years old, and he used to be in the military, right? And I'm just looking at him, I'm like, bruh, women are always going to be there. We need you just focus on doing you, learning what you got to learn, you know, all the stereotypical stuff that we say, and the women will be there. But it just seems like he can't take his mind off of women for 5 seconds just to learn something that is going to enhance your life. Because whether you got a woman or not, you still got to live with you. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and figure out how you're going to feed yourself, clothe yourself, and do all the things you got to do with or without a woman. You still got to do those things. It's the weirdest thing, man.
But now, what do you think about this though? Because we're in some kind of weird, bizarro parallel universe where, I don't know, due to social media, just the hype of glamorized lifestyle, whatever, it's almost like guys got it all backwards. Lack of masculine guidance, leadership, whatever. Daddies wasn't around, who knows? But just the thing where it's like the whole thing of just be a man and be sustainable first and foremost is flipped on its head to where, oh, what's the point of doing that if I don't have the goal achieved? But the whole goal is the woman. But it's like at the same time, the dudes will be like, well, it's red pill and these women ain't worth it and they all out of control anyway. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Out of one side of your mouth, you're giving every reason why you should be focused on self mastery and getting your shit together yourself either way. Then out the other side of your mouth, it's not worth it and it's too hard because I don't have the woman in my life. It's like, fam, you're missing the. What do you think that is, though? What do you think? How did it get to where dudes are able to flip it so backwards?
I think you're dealing with a bunch of dudes that don't have a lot of experiences in the field, man. Dealing with women, like when I talk to this young guy, obviously I don't go into the details of my personal life, but I listen to him and I can tell that when he was in high school or whatever, he really didn't have a lot of experiences with talking to women, getting comfortable with women like that, to where it's not a driving factor in his 20s like that, like it currently is. Because, me, I've been dating girls since I was like 14 years old in some capacity, getting intimate with them, the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? And, by the time I got to my 20s and I decided I wanted to settle down with my wife and whatever, I mean, I had about a 10-year experience of various experiences. Some of them, would be classified as whatever. I'm, dealing with older women, I should say. Some of them would be a little, suspect in today's terms because I was a minor and they were older, but whatever. The whole point is, I just don't think they've had those necessary life skills. It's the same thing with this one dude who left a comment on my video talking about how it's essentially not strange for a 22-year-old to go to work and not have soft skills developed. But but the soft skills I was talking about in the video was, do you know how to look somebody in the eye when you talk to them? Can you shake their hand with a firm grip? Can you speak loud enough so somebody can hear you? You're not whispering. These are the things that I see with the so-called soft skills of this generation. And I'm thinking that this is partly responsible to this generation. They're not really going outside, interacting with other kids, nowhere near to the degree that we did when we were latchkey kids and all that crap, growing up, riding bikes, climbing trees, getting into fist fights every other day. You know what I'm saying? Doing the things that socializes young men and women. And so maybe that's part of it. They just haven't had those standard those life lessons that they should have learned at an early age where they're outside in the elements like we were. And now we're seeing how it's turning out in their 20s, everything from soft skills to personal relationships and how they view the dating world and how they think women are going to react or respond, or not even just that, but how they view what they should be doing in order to attract the women versus doing what you need to do to enhance your personal life with or without the woman.
Man, I've been saying it for years, it's hustling backwards, but you make a good point. I mean, again, I'm 46, so got to see all of the 80s into the 90s and flourished with that in the 2000s, all that. So yeah, going outside, fights, everything you listed, just those kind of interactions. Definitely latchkey kid, had to take care of my 8 years younger little brother, had to grow up early, you know what I mean? Like, and was really out there, and yeah, interacted with the ladies. Jeez, yeah, started early with that too. Was able to dodge a lot of bullets with that craziness and see a lot, experience a lot. And I'm not married. I don't have any kids now. So all the way into my 40s with a certain level of freedom, as you might, some might say. Yeah. But I just say that to say those experiences, like you illustrated, guys not having that. And then you pair that up with going into the 2000s. I don't know if Ty City's still in here, but I always look at the idea of glamorized hip hop culture, what Black people focus on from like an entertainment perspective, that potentially like socially engineering people's minds to think I gotta be lit like that. I gotta have the drip like that. I gotta, you know what I mean? Then take social media, level in the playing field, and it's like, well, yeah, I can interact on the same platforms as the big artists. Pair that up with guys and young ladies, but let's focus on the guys, not going outside and interacting. The overall culture degrading or dropping off a cliff. and then add in the social media element of it just to make it even more awkward, and just a weird delusional element of it.
Yeah.
People living vicariously through the artist. You know, I'll look at all the stuff together and kind of analyze it. Maybe it's too deep, but I don't know. I think I'm onto something with that. But
no, you're right. Because now, one thing I will say with this younger generation, they are bombarded with more imagery,
exactly,
more propaganda than ever before. I mean,
yeah.
So for instance, earlier today I was eating dinner, and my youngest son, who's 9, he was sitting next to me, and on the TV, he's watching these little YouTube videos, these little puppet show. So I'm thinking it's an innocent puppet show, right? You know, little puppets talking about whatever they're talking about. And then all of a sudden, this one puppet comes into the scene talking about this. This is literally what the puppet said. "What's up now, nigga? We cripping over here." I was like, whoa. Well, like, what? Like, what are we watching? Like, and I was like, nah, turn this off. I'm like, this is supposed to be an innocent child show of puppets that little kids his age watch about whatever. And I got a damn puppet in here talking about, "What up, my nigga? We cripping over here." And the puppet's holding a damn automatic, a little Uzi looking gun. You see what I'm saying? So the propaganda, all the negative crap is, dude, they're flooded with this crap. You know what I'm saying? Over and over. But at the same time, as they get older, you know, can't add my kid into this, but I'm talking about as they hit like teenage years and old, man, I'm sweating my ass off. As they enter teenage years and older, they also have the ability to control this crap, to somewhat control or manipulate their algorithm to where they can filter out certain BS that isn't healthy for them. Because I think, dude, once you become like 16 years old, if you're old enough to get a damn driver's license to drive a car up and down the street without potentially killing yourself or somebody, you're old enough to start making grown-up decisions, in my opinion. And so you're old enough to filter out what comes in and out of your phone, in or out of your social media feeds, to where, okay, I'm gonna watch my little ratchet happy hour shows, but I'm also gonna learn something that could benefit my life, because I can't spend the rest of my life watching ratchet happy hour, woe is me crap all damn day long. So I get it, they're bombarded with this crap, but they also have controls over it to where they can filter and or minimize their exposure to it as well, so that they can hopefully lessen the impact on them, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't want to, I see what you're saying, but I don't want to get too dark and doomy and gloomy about that. A lot I can say about that, but I mean, from 16 to, I mean, it's you, right? I can think about you. I've known you for some years, interacting with you. I have an idea of how you think, how you move.
Yeah.
But then there's the people that's not like you, not like us, maybe. You know what I mean? And I've said this phrase before. What do you think about this? We're in the generation of babies who had babies who had babies.
Yes, that's true.
Generational arrested development. So for the average young 16-year-old black kid out there, do they have the thought process, the filter in their mind to even think why I should consume this content in moderation, why I should turn this off? You see what I'm saying? Or do they really think this is it? Like, if I'm not looking like this artist, or my drip ain't like this, or I don't mumble my voice like this because the ladies think it's cool if you, or you're square if you're too smart. Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like,
now I hear you, but a part of me still has to go back to, these are the same people, regardless of race, that we entrust to go get driver's licenses, driving 4,000 or 5,000 pound vehicles up and down the damn street every damn day. Like, I live not too far from a high school, and I see these kids coming and going in the cars their parents got them. So if we can entrust them to do that, they have to be held accountable to a certain degree as to what they choose to filter in and out of their life, regardless of the stuff that's being thrown at them. Because I mean, listen, when we were coming up in the 90s, listening to Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and all them, Vibe magazine, the East Coast, West Coast war. I remember going to school, and this is when Crips were the thing. Everybody dressing in blue, right? And we're like, I don't even live in California, but everybody got blue on. You know what I'm saying? This is before everybody decided to be a blood. You know what I mean? It's just like, I didn't grow up and want to kill anybody. I didn't grow up in one. I used to listen to Master P's ghetto dope, make crack like this. I never wanted to go out there and buy baking soda and figure out how to make crack. You know what I'm saying? It was catchy music, but I knew I had enough common sense not to go out there and emulate this crap. So, and so I think there's a level of accountability that we have to hold them to at a certain point. It's like, because like I say, you can get a damn driver's license, bro. And I trust you enough not to blow through a damn red light and run over damn kids and kill little old ladies. You should have enough common sense to all right, let me turn this crap off and go learn some IT from Tech G or something like that. Or learn how to do some videography, graphic design work from AM1 Lifestyle or something like that. Like, I just think there's a level of accountability that they have to be held to.
You know, I totally agree with you, but I gotta say, and you called me out on this literally for years about having hopium about certain communities or ethnic lineage. And I don't know, are you speaking from you being a parent with a 16-year-old, or I agree the accountability ultimately falls on them in their life trajectory for sure. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm big on media, right? That's literally a part of my job. My livelihood is to understand media propaganda. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not speaking from the perspective because I got my son's 18 now, but not. Yeah. Time moves, bro. My son's he graduated high school already.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm not speaking from the perspective of being a parent. My perspective is really formed by life, of seeing older examples of failure, right? So I always talk about my uncles, right? You know, one uncle in particular, who's like 11 years older than me. I seen what happened to them when they decided they wanted to become drug dealers. They spent the majority of the 90s in and out of prison. One went to jail for attempted murder. One did a lot of time for selling crack cocaine. One of them got addicted to crack cocaine. Like, I seen the results of, if I decide to go out here and do this so-called, cool stuff, because they were selling the drugs because that's what they thought the women like. Because, man, back in the 80s, remember when LL Cool J and everybody was with their track suits and the Dookie gold rope? That's how my uncles dressed. They all looked like LL Cool J back in the day, especially one particular uncle. He lifted weights and was really big like that. That particular uncle is a full-blown drug addict. Drug addict. He went from selling that crap to being full-blown addicted to it. So I seen that at an early age, and I had enough awareness to where, okay, I can listen to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre talk about, killing people, bang, bang, all Wu-Tang and all of them. But I'm not going to be stupid enough to go do it because I see what happened to my damn uncles. I'm not trying to be locked up with a bunch of dudes smelling like ass all day. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy my freedoms. So if I can do it, these people can do it too. Even though they're babies being raised by babies, there's still enough examples out there that I think where at some point, I think you're old enough to decide, you know what, maybe I don't want to be the next baby raising a baby. Like I think
Wait, G, hold on. While I totally agree with you from like a journalistic objectivity mentality and seeing where we're at trajectory wise with where the content is going, if there are really truly issues in the job market kind of situation, I don't know, because the way I work is just not like that. Port strike, inflation, people complaining about, price of eggs, this, that, and the third. I'm like, if it's that bad, then the younger folks are feeling a crunch. They're feeling depressed. They're dating, the gender wars, blah, blah, blah. All these things are making it so hard out here. Then you see what I'm saying? Like, maybe.
But it was always bad. When was it? Unless you come from a rich, affluent background, when was it ever good?
I'm with you, but I feel like I don't know.
I mean, you're from California, Oakland. I'm pretty sure you can tell me horror stories about growing up in the crack era out there. Absolutely. Right? Yes. So when was it ever like truly good as far as employment, relationships, all that crap? The only difference is we didn't have a device to pump it into our face 24 hours a day, right? That's the only difference. But you can go outside your house and see it. Oh, man, drug addicts over here, crime over here, nobody got a job over here, or, somebody's getting displaced over here because of whatever. Like, all this stuff isn't brand new. It's just that today, one of the major differences between yesteryear and today is this right here, bro.
So you think it's being amplified more?
Well, it's being amplified more.
And I mean, inflation is a real thing.
Yes.
The pinch is on money. You know, the pockets being tight is a real thing. I would say by and large.
It is a real thing, but what I'm saying is being amplified more because of this device. But this device also is a gateway to damn near unlimited fucking opportunities, bro.
I'm right there with you.
So
believe me,
you can come on YouTube and we can watch everybody talking about politics and why Kamala, why Trump, or we can watch we can spend all day watching this stuff. Or we could spend time looking at a YouTube channel. Like you said, you literally learn your business of learning Adobe and how to use cameras from watching YouTube.
I'm a living example and been saying it for years. When I said skills and resources versus complaining, I was like, fam, don't give me that. If you sit here for hours on YouTube building with the fellas and talking about the women and red pill, this, that, and the third, but you talking about a lick a bit of struggling out here, you're watching the wrong things, because YouTube University is free, or you can get a course. You can change the trajectory of your life. I don't want to hear it. At that point, I'm going to just get petty.
And so as it relates to the job market, where people like, oh, working a 9-to-5 sucks. My thing is, how many people who claim it sucks are using this damn technology to learn something to enhance their lives, to up their skills to where they can create other opportunities of employment or start your own business, do something. That's my point, man. I think most people are complaining, but they're not actually being proactive in trying to create a solution to the complaints that they're generating.
You're being entirely too realistic about the accountability necessary, but I don't know, fam. We're in some kind of bizarre, we're in bizarro land world where it's thin skin, everybody's weak, no motivation. It's easier to just complain and soak up mindless content than it is to take steps and sacrifice fun to go learn something that's going to put you in a position to where you're like, yeah, I'm not really relating to all this doom and gloom content. My life is the best it's ever been, better than last year. It's kind of hard for me to like come on YouTube and even talk about some of the stuff that I'll be doing, because it's like my life is boring. All I do is work out and make videos and create stuff and travel and just go see cool stuff. I can't relate to all this conflict and craziness because I did take those steps to go learn something and learn a specialized skill that's in demand, and I sacrificed the fun. And I did everything you're saying, so I totally agree. I'm just looking at the flip side of, to be in the shoes of the hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people, younger people our age and older, who are just all beat down about life, and to the point where people are saying wild stuff, making content off of, just quit your job and it's not worth it. And it's like, okay, well, what's the solution though? Just be homeless? I don't know. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, but like I say, even with the homeless person, they got to work too. I mean, listen. I mean, we all see homeless people. Like the ones that I see, I live in Florida, bro. It's like 1,000 degrees outside. They be outside at them traffic lights with no shade, no umbrella. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 p.m. when the sun is high in the sky, walking up and down trying to collect them dollars, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to put in work too. Except you see, nobody escapes work. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you got to put in work.
Oh, for sure.
Unless you hit the lottery or come from a rich family, you know, then you might have the option to escape work. But other than that, most of us don't come from that background, and we don't have an extraordinary talent at this present moment that could demand a contract worth $10 million plus or something like that, or whatever the case may be. You got to put the work in. But it's easier to cry and complain and hope somebody will come feel sorry for you than it is to, all right, man, damn, my job sucks, man. Like when I was in college, I was working at the school cafeteria, and all my friends used to see me in the cafeteria working. Right now, granted, I'm there on scholarship. They're there taking out student loans. I didn't have to be there, but I was there because I wanted extra money so I can go party on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, they would see me in the caf. Instead of them picking their trays up to go put it up, some of them would flip their trays over and mush the food around. And they would do this every day, every time they saw me in there. So I purposely have more crap to do. So I'm like thinking, man, I hate this damn job. I hate when I come in here, my friends, they're purposely doing this crap. Fast forward to the present day, guess who makes more money and lives an overall better life? Me or them? Me. I'll just go ahead and tell you the answer, me. So it's like I made decisions and choices because I was like, I didn't like this or I didn't like that, but I didn't just sit around and just wallow in it. It was like, what can I do to get out of doing this so I can do something else if I choose to do it? You have to make that decision. And I don't care how much stuff is going on online or outside. You have the ability to turn that shit off or tune it out and get serious about your life. Because especially as a male, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know of any dudes that can just go find somebody that'll just take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's grandma, you know what I mean? And she's only going to do that for so long. But other than that, you're going to have to go out there and get something in life. Nobody gives a shit about you whining and crying about why the job sucks. Everybody thinks the job sucks unless you own the company, but are you a high paid employee? But if it sucks, what are you doing to be proactive about fixing it? And I don't think because you're a young person, 15 to 25 or something like that, that you shouldn't be held accountable to that standard. Like, no, you are old enough to comprehend it. You're old enough to go out there and get a girl pregnant at 15, 16 years old. Because I know plenty of people that became baby daddies when they were 15, 16 years old. You old enough to understand that concept, right? So don't tell me you ain't old enough to understand. Maybe I need to stop watching twerking videos and fight videos and woe is me relationship videos and go learn some shit so I can get myself out of this crappy job of working in this hot ass warehouse or wherever the hell I'm working. You understand what I'm saying?
But they're like, see, you're an old head and you were young once too. You don't understand what it's like out here. Cause I gotta, enjoy my youth and make memories and this, that, and the third. And it's like, I guess, I don't know. In my 20s, I wasted a lot of time. I don't have a time machine. I made a lot of memories in my 20s and 30s, but I mean, I still feel like I'm making up for a lot of lost time right now. So if I got any bit of some OG game to kick down, it's like, hey, sacrifice some of that fun and get it in line right now. Especially since, when I was early 20s, we didn't have the internet like this. We had to be outside for real. It wasn't like this. So now that you have damn near the world's knowledge in a supercomputer on your phone, this is one of the easiest times in the world to start a business, multiple businesses, or of course to take advantages of online tutorials, courses, to the point of this channel. I'll literally watch you build all this and how to, let me take part in, helping build with the marketing. I just don't see it. I mean, I'm generally a positive person. I'm about solutions. And yeah, as a man, it's like, you gotta be working because, it's hard. Nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares. So you got to figure it out. And do you want to go lay up underneath some woman that has power over you? It's like every way you turn, every way you think about it, you're dependent on either the government or some other person. And there's a transaction there that maybe isn't in your favor. You got to stand on something and be building and just be building. You got to be doing it. So I don't know. Like,
look, I get it, right? Young people want to have fun. Listen, I have fun too. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun. I was in them clubs. I lived in the clubs when I was 18 to about 21, 22 years old. I lived in the clubs. Plenty of nights I done got drunk and passed out. I used to have gold teeth in my mouth at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like I was about that lifestyle. But I made decisions, bro, because I always thought about how do I want my life to be when I'm 30, when I'm 40. And this is before I got married and had a kid. I always thought about, do I want to be doing the same crap at 30 years old, being a so-called old guy at the club, that I'm doing right now at 20 years old. I was chasing the girl. I was blowing my I used to work at a shoe store. Dude, do you know I had at one point 200 pairs of shoes in my house? Damn near every Jordan, every pair, every Air Max you can think of. Think about all the money I wasted on shoes, bro. You know what I'm saying? That could have been applied towards something else. When I was learning IT, I had to read the books. Them books are like 1,000, 1,500 pages long, bro. We didn't have YouTube videos where you can watch people like me, right? I remember when I was in college, I saw a commercial on TV talking about one day in the future, You will be able to go to class online and you won't even have to step foot in the class. I remember that commercial like it was yesterday. I thought that was the most futuristic Star Trek crap I had ever seen. Here we are today living it right now. Don't even think it's so ingrained into our life. We don't even think about the crap. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, I come from that. We've come from that era where we didn't have access to the technology nowhere near as advanced as it is today. But I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice all fun and just go focus on going balls to the wall to learn a skill, although you probably should, especially the younger you are and the more energy and more vibrant you are, you probably should, but have your fun. But you got to weigh that stuff. Don't let fun just take over your life and you just not learn a skill, because you are going to wake up staring at 30 going into your 40s. And what are you going to have to show for it? I'm not saying that you got to have a Lamborghini and 20 houses or whatever, but do you have enough money to where if you lost your job today, you're not worried because you still got money in the bank to cover all your bills for a couple months or whatever the case may be. Like you're good until you find something else to generate money or you get another job. I mean, think about how many people do we know that's around our age and older that don't even have $1,000 in the bank, bro?
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're one paycheck away from literally being homeless right now.
Right.
And this was before the so-called inflation / recession. It's been like this for years for these people. And guess what? It's going to be the same thing for this generation coming up, these Gen Zs coming up. My thing is, have your fun as a young person, but also as a young person, get serious, because just like you stated earlier, like I always like to make this joke, especially when I'm talking to pro-blacks. And our pro-blacks be like, man, we invented everything and racism, white supremacy. Yeah, I always come back and say, I was like, you know who the greatest white man in history is? I'd be like, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is the greatest white man to ever live, because he invented this damn iPhone and it set all you Negroes free. You got access to everything in the palm of your hands, to where you can take advantage of this piece of technology and go do some stupid crap with it, or go do something phenomenal with it, to where you can really change your life, revolutionize your life, and get it and just live your wildest dream. Because even our man Mark said that in the video. He was like, the difference between us and Gen Z and millennials and Gen Xers is, we have access to technology and social media. My question to him was like, well, how come a lot of y'all aren't using it to its fullest extent, to where you don't have to be sitting around here making videos or watching videos talking about why the 9 to 5 sucks? Why aren't you using this technology that's you can get these damn things for free now? Every homeless person I see has a smartphone, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they got a Cash App where you could just cash app them a damn $1 or something like that, right? So why aren't you using this to enhance your life, to where you don't have to be sitting around here complaining about working a 9 to 5 and just quitting without a real plan? It's like it doesn't compute with me with these people, man. How they're just letting these opportunities just go untapped just so that they can be an influencer and cry and complain.
Yeah, and to that point is to kind of take it back to a positive note, because obviously I love everything you've done with this channel. Big inspiration to me. Just a lot of the brothers that I've come up with over the years in this online space and seen you guys build businesses, run up numbers. Shout out to Keep It Techie.
Shout out to him. He pushing 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
There was at one point where he only had 1,000 more subs than me. He's on his way to 100,000 right now.
I've been watching the numbers like crazy. So I just love seeing that. And I just say that to say the content like trend where it's do the black pill doom and gloom, life sucks kind of thing, versus maybe trade off some of that time and get into, if not your course, somebody else's course or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to turn this into a commercial for how do you steer people's psychology towards, I mean, if they're here listening to this, shouldn't they try to hit you up about getting in this? What is the future of this kind of IT tech space? Is it going to fall off? Is AI going to take over it? I know you've discussed this before, but I'm just curious, just to kind of kick the legs out from under anybody's complaints.
A lot of people do hit me up, and surprisingly, a lot of people who know me from my other channel have come over here, and some of them were or are current students. So the message has hit. It has resonated with a few people here and there, because I remember I did a consultation one time, and it was an Asian girl who I did the consultation with. As soon as we got on the video chat, she called me by my other YouTube name. I was like, what the hell? So she know me from my other channel, right? But anyways, so it is resonating. And as far as, you know, tech and stuff, I mean, if people want to learn IT from me, which I think is the best option, but, you know, that's great. There are other people out there, or if you want to learn a totally different skill set, HVAC, I mean, or whatever, there's a plethora of things you can do online. But as far as tech is concerned, you know, somebody had left a comment on my other Gen Z video talking about how us tech creators need to stop selling the idea of cybersecurity, and these tech jobs ain't booming like that, and all these Indians coming from India taking all the jobs. And I started to make a video talking about that. I'm like, yes, the Indians, the Kamala Harris types, you know, I'll put it like that. You know, they are coming over here, but a lot of them are doing like database development type stuff, right? They're not necessarily doing a lot of cybersecurity stuff to that degree. But regardless of all that, there's always a need for IT. There's always a need because everything is online. All your medical records, education records, your social security number, bank accounts, all that crap is online. Like I was telling you about the guy at the IBM thing where he's trying to get people to get interested in managing mainframes that control all this data. This stuff isn't going anywhere. So it's just a matter of, do you want to learn it and make the most of it and go out there and seek opportunities and, you know, try to become a subject matter expert at it so that you can really maximize your earning potential in your specific lane within tech. So the opportunity is there. It's just a matter of, are you going to take advantage of it, whether you pay for it or you get it for free.
Let me ask you this real quick too, because I don't want to, obviously it's your stream, I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm just thinking about this myself. What would you say on a scale of, I don't know, 1 to 10, how hard is it, or the relative seeming difficulty for the average person, or who is even remotely tech savvy? Maybe they get on a computer and get into some of the, I don't know, privacy settings, some of the code kind of screens or whatever. How hard is it for the average person to kind of get into this stuff?
It's not hard at all. I deal with the so-called average people all the time. Like everybody that comes to my channel inquiring about signing up, most of them have no background in tech whatsoever, or besides using a phone to watch YouTube or buy stuff off Amazon. So I deal with these crowd of people. The hardest part about learning this stuff is actually sitting down to learn it. That's it. Can you dedicate 30 minutes to an hour a day towards your studies of learning this stuff? That's the hardest part. The stuff isn't written, at least the way I put my stuff together and the resources I use in conjunction with my stuff is written at like a 5th or 8th grade level. It's not college level reading that you have, comprehension skills that you have to have. It's just, can you sit down and dedicate time to learn it? And then those that go through like my advanced training course, these students have my cell phone number. They set up private time with me and on Saturdays or whatever, and I'll work with them one-on-one to help them comprehend and understand stuff. But even the students that do my self-study material, the material isn't on a college graduate level of understanding. It's something that my 10-year-old son could probably comprehend. Like that's how quote unquote elementary it's written. But the hard part is just learning the stuff, because once you learn the stuff and you go get a job, you know, a lot of people think that, oh man, I'm just gonna be looking at slideshows all day for the rest of my IT career. No, you're not. You're just, this is quote unquote boot camp training. So you can learn the stuff, get certified, so you can qualify to apply for various jobs and say you have to have the cert. But once you get the job, you're not staring at slideshows all day or listening to lectures. You're actually doing your work, whatever the hell that may entail at your job. And then if you decide you want to go get a higher level cert, then you're gonna have to look at some slideshows. But that's the hard part. It's not beyond anybody's comprehension, unless, you know, for the average person, it's not beyond anybody's comprehension. It's just that a lot of people just don't want to study. They just don't want to learn it. I mean, because it's a lot of information to learn and comprehend. But if you learn it and comprehend it, you know, you up the odds of you getting hired. And obviously, the more specialized you get, you up the odds of you getting possibly paid more money at the same time.
Let me ask you this, because again, and this is kind of me rephrasing the same question, but I just want to drive this point home. Because even myself doing the kind of work I do, I always think what could come about that displaces what I do, thinking into the future, how could I pivot?
Oh, so, I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I read an article yesterday because I looked it up. You can go Google this. Google the top 10 jobs that they say AI is going to displace. And guess what one of them was? Photography. which is in line with what you do. So just thought I'd
Yeah.
throw that out there. You might be at risk as well, but go ahead.
Oh no, for sure. The AI tech is getting crazy. Yeah, the Sora AI. They got. I've been looking at some apps where people are looking at making like short films with full blown AI, or things where they're kind of using video capture kind of stuff and tying it in and being able to. I mean, they have it now. Like, you could scan a picture of your face and basically
I mean,
write a
look
script
at
and make it talk.
what is that program? That one, not what's it called, Sophie or L? Anyway, there's this AI generating program that makes videos so damn realistic that some people are having a hard time telling if this is AI or not. But that stuff is already out there.
Oh, that might be the Sora AI.
Yeah, I
It's
think that's what it
crazy.
is. I think that's what
Yeah,
it's called.
Sora's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, no, I look at that kind of stuff. That's why, as of, within the past year, leaning more into like a specialized health and fitness kind of thing where a hedge a bet that there is going to be a certain grouping of people who are going to want to deal with someone face to face. So just, but where I was going with that question is this. Thinking about certain like coding, Python script, certain stuff I've looked at and was like, whoa, that seems crazy. I think what you're doing is it's not dealing directly with coding or anything like that. Or let me know if I'm wrong. But I would say if you know anything about that, is it possible that people are just thinking just off rip, this just seems like some insurmountable thing that's going to be way out there for me to learn? I'm just trying to see what you think about that. To maybe there's a way to communicate to people, hey, it's not as crazy as you think.
Yeah, no, it's not. So I mean, there are aspects of coding that go on, but I teach a little bit of coding, but I don't deal with like a full blown coding class because that's not the aim of it. Like I always tell people, IT, think of it like the medical industry. You got different types of doctors. You got your dentist, your pediatrics, your brain surgeon. And IT is the same way: cybersecurity, programmers, coders, database developers, yada yada yada. Anyways, I mostly focus in the lane of networking, cybersecurity, and cloud. Mostly I teach mostly networking because that can funnel you off into cyber. That funnels a lot of people into cybersecurity and cloud because they all intricately work together with one another. But as far as the complexity is concerned, it's not not complicated like that. Like I was saying, you're not learning these overly. We're not learning calculus, right? As a matter of fact, we're not learning math at all for the most part. You know what I'm saying? We're not learning these. The biggest struggle is if I put a stick of RAM in front of you, can you tell me what the acronym RAM stands for and what is the purpose of the stick of RAM that goes in your computer? Like, what is its main function? What is the main function of the GPU, the CPU? When I'm teaching this, the basic A+ class, we start getting into the networking class. All right, this is a router. This is a switch. This is what they do. All right, this is how you type in the basic commands of how to configure these things so your devices can communicate and you can enjoy the internet. Like, we're teaching stuff like that. It's not high level stuff. I mean, it's not low level stuff either, but it's not extremely high level stuff where you got to have a full blown master's degree to learn this stuff. I got people that barely graduated high school that are learning IT from me, right? But just to give people a preview, I got a free class on YouTube. My most popular video on this channel is called IT Fundamentals. It has over 300,000 views. They teach this video. This video is used as the coursework for various high schools and colleges. And I've had high school teachers, middle school teachers, and college professors reach out and tell me, or even their students tell me they use my videos in their class. So that kind of gives you a preview of what you'll be learning as it relates to the career in tech that I focus on. And you'll see whether or not how complicated this stuff is or not. If you go read the comments on them videos, it's comment after comment after comment of people who were saying, man, I had no idea. I had no background in tech whatsoever. I'm a teenager or I'm 50 plus years old. I passed just by watching this video because you're not learning a foreign language. You're just being introduced to technology that you already see and interact with every day. Now we're just going one step below, a layer below it. So we can, let's learn about the inside of this thing and why you're able to pick up your phone and touch it with your finger and manipulate the objects on the screen. Like, wow, how is that possible? So that's the type of stuff we're learning. So we're not learning calculus and all this crazy stuff.
I'm trying to see if I can find a link to that particular video and drop it in there.
Oh, I don't know. Are you a mod on my channel? I don't know if I can make you a mod. Are you a mod on here?
I think on the other one. I'm not sure on this one. Oh, that's the private chat anyway.
Oh well, I'll just Well, like I say, if you go to it's my most popular video. You'll see it. Just like I say, it's like a 10-hour video, but it's a compilation of smaller videos I just put together for one big video. But that's for free, and then also the newer version of that test is coming out. So for those y'all who want to get it, I'm actually preparing that stuff now, and I'll probably start dropping videos for that probably within a week or two. So that'll be free as well. But like I say, that's how a lot of people come to my channel. They start by watching that video, and then they go out there, take the test, pass it, and then once they pass it, that gives a lot of people enough confidence to be like, okay, I want to go pursue the next level, A plus, Net plus, Security plus. I got somebody who just asked me today about learning CCNA from me, Cisco Certified Networking Associate, and some people ask me about teaching cloud courses and all that stuff. So, yeah, so.
I might have to check it out myself one of these days because sorry, AI gonna come take my work, and I'm not happy about that, man.
Like I say, AI is a threat. See, I don't want to use the word threat, but some people will view it as a threat if you have a very monotonous, not monotonous, but a job that is what's the word I'm looking for? A very routine job that anybody, you could just put anybody in and out and just do it, right? Like photography, unfortunately, that's becoming in graphic design. AI can do that. But you say you got the physical fitness business, that you're trying to bring to life. Well, they have physical fitness AI apps out there, but the main difference is I don't think they're ever going to be able to compete with an actual human being that is working with you and can empathize and sympathize. So when you got a client that's out of shape like me, who's struggling to get back into shape, you know what I'm saying? A piece of software can't talk to me and relate to me, right? And it's the same way with me teaching IT, right? AI can automate certain tasks that I can do, right? But it can't automate teaching and me being able to empathize with another human being, because this human being, I might have to explain something in a different manner that they can comprehend and understand versus AI just being straight robotic and spitting it out how Siri and Alexa spits it out. So if you got jobs that have a lot of human interaction and element into it, like personal training, I don't think you're going to worry about AI. Matter of fact, you're probably going to use AI to enhance your business to where you can pull up an artificial intelligence app, because I got one downloaded on my phone, and you can go in there and use AI to program certain workouts based on the physical fitness needs of your client, their weight, their BMI measurements, and all that stuff. And you can whip it up, put it together real quick. And then you come in as the coach or instructor to motivate them, to keep them on task, to make sure that they're doing their workouts, to stick it to their diet plan. The human element, AI cannot replace that.
Right. No, that's already how I'm seeing it. And even with the work I do now, the way because I'm, videography, motion graphic design, but it's really more consulting though, right? So it's me working with the client, their business, and formulating like a campaign. There's a certain like human touch, artistry touch that's coming from years of experience through multiple mediums, delivery systems of content. So there's something there. I don't see how some AI is going to take my life experience and be able to distill it down, but I still never take it for granted. You see what I mean? Plus, I just love fitness anyway, so I want to go in that direction.
No, even with the advertising and promotion thing, there's that human element involved in it.
Right.
AI cannot create the true vision of how you see something captured and how you want this image to come across to those it's being promoted to. Right. AI can help you assist and aid in creating the image,
right,
but it can't really assist in making sure that it comes across with the feeling and emotion that you're hoping it conveys, which hopefully translates into, whatever, sale or whatever the hell the end result is that you're trying to generate. Right. So my thing is, if you have a job that doesn't really require a lot of quote unquote human interaction to that degree, and it's very monotonous and repeatable,
right?
AI you might be kind of worried. Like right. If you work in an Amazon warehouse moving boxes all around, they got little robots that can do that. Unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. But if you're in the Amazon warehouse and I'm trying to think, I don't know what the hell, you're the manager, you're overseeing the crap. Or if you're the guy that has to fix the robots, or like I said, you're the personal trainer, like AI cannot replace the personal trainer because they're not conscious beings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how smart that we think we're talking, all of their languages is programmed. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree. When we talk to another person and interact with them to get them to see the vision, or you're convincing somebody why they should lose weight and get into shape and take health and fitness skills and resources serious, AI can't do that because AI is not human. It doesn't understand the lived human experience and how you can relate to another human being. But we can use it as a tool to enhance what we do, to accelerate certain business practices and processes to get to the end result quicker and more efficiently.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. Definitely, keep an eye out, looking into the future with that, and just, staying sustainable, solving the problems ahead of time versus finding myself like just asked out here, like complaining online. I refuse.
Just tell everybody to go out there. You ain't got to get in shape, man. Just be fat. Tech G doing it. Nah, I've been working out a little bit. I lost 10 pounds last month. So yeah. My workouts hurt a little bit because, I got old injuries. I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver around them to do the things that I used to do. So it's a grind, but also I tell people my biggest flaw is not really the working out. It's the putting the stuff in my mouth because I'm convinced that healthy food sucks. And I like the taste of greasy pizza and slimy, fatty burgers. You know what I'm saying? But my struggle is I have to stop consuming those things as frequently as I've been consuming them. So
and I was just gonna say, before the whole fitness movement thing, it is about the diet more so than anything. The diet, nutrition, just understanding what that is. And then there's the whole thing where when you eat a certain way and then start making changes, your taste, your palate, what you desire changes too. Mm-hmm. So you just got to kind of like set that up a little bit over time and track it, like food diary, watch what you write down, like just those psychological kind of hacks can help a lot. But I mean, man, pizza is kind of sketchy, but a burger, just understanding like the nutrients, macronutrients, the more get into the stuff, it's like this stuff is so simple, man. So I'm setting it up right now to really flip it on how I can coach people on this stuff.
Yeah,
it's like it actually gets way easy. Like I always say, it's the hardest, easiest thing because it is a deep kind of thing psychologically. But once you get in, understand it, and then take the steps, you'll look back at it and be like, what? Oh, that was nothing.
Yeah, I agree. It is the hardest, easiest thing to do. Because look, I know how to eat properly. My wife cooks healthy than a mug, man. You know what I'm saying? She every morning when I go to work, she has boiled eggs out for me and protein yogurt. So lunch I eat salads for lunch. I don't put a bunch of dressing on it or whatever. So Monday through Friday, I eat. I consciously kind of watch what I eat. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Sometimes coworkers be coming there with the Krispy Kremes, and I'd be like, "Ooh, they calling me like Pookie from New Jack City, man." I'd be shaking when I see them damn Krispy Kreme donuts, man. And temptation is real because I like donuts. Tasty food.
No, believe me, cookies, donuts, fam. Like, but I understood at a certain point. I realized how I work out. I can get away with what I can get away with. But the more I learned, the more I realized, nah, because the more you age, the more you play that game, rob Peter to pay Paul on your nutrition, it adds up. And that's where the aging part, the older you get, the harder it is to work it off. Then you realize you're already neck deep in this situation, trying to dig yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I like this comment. It says, no processed food, Tech G. They are made to be addictive. Healthy food doesn't suck. Your taste buds are ruined. Eat a low carb diet and fix your addiction. Yeah, I actually agree with. I'm addicted. I'm a sugar addict. I'm addicted. And as a matter of fact, I hear actually sugar, they say it's more addictive than cocaine, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And so I've been consuming sugary products since I was a kid. My granddad used to work at this place called Marita Bakery, and he used to bring home all these cakes and donuts. Oh man, I used to go to town just smashing them things, watching cartoons with my granddad, man. Surprisingly, I never had a cavity until about a year ago. But
wow.
I had that, but I was from drinking too much damn coffee. But anyways, but yeah, I'm addicted to it. I'm not gonna front. And yes, I would imagine if I could break the addiction and get myself into the groove of eating healthier stuff, I would probably develop a taste and love for, healthier foods once I curb my addiction to sugary, salty foods. You know what I'm saying? So, because like I said, I do eat healthy. It's not like I sit here and just eat a bunch of BS all. My wife cooks a lot of healthy food for me, but like I say, I'm still under the influence of sugar. Like I say, if somebody would have put a box of Krispy Kremes in front of me right now, dude, I'm gonna be like literally like a crackhead, kind of shaking and twitching, trying not to get one of them donuts because there's gonna be a part of me that's screaming, I have to taste it. You know what I'm saying? Let me just lick the box. You know what I'm saying? I'm a drug crackhead when it comes to sugar. I'm a recovering crackhead. I mean, I'm not even gonna front. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know how it is. It is a matter of like breaking those habits, rewiring it. And as crazy as it sounds, you can get to a point where you'll be able to look at it and be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just not there, because it's weird because I talk about my uncles that are drug addicts, and then sometimes I feel bad talking about them because I'm addicted to sugar. Almost to the same extreme that they're addicted to drugs, except, there is a major difference between the two addictions to a certain extent. But my addiction has been that strong, like their addiction to crack cocaine has been that strong. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I'm in a quote unquote recovery. I'm just trying to work out more and just be conscious of what I eat and all that. I haven't been keeping no food diary. That is something that I probably should. Matter of fact, I do have an app on my phone that actually goes off every night or about 6-7 o'clock. It's been going off every night, 6-7 o'clock for about a year and some change now, reminding me to fill out my food diary. And I just ignore the damn app.
That's crazy.
Ignore the damn app. But I might actually have to start implementing. Maybe that'll actually help, man.
That's one of the main like coaching hacks like that. But like my strategy when I am approached by people talking about this stuff as I'm getting more into it, I'd say they talk about fitness. Oh, you're older, but you look like you're in good shape, blah, blah, blah. You look younger, whatever. What do you do? I know you work out. I say, whatever all that. Here's how I'm eating. How do you eat? What do you eat? What do you understand about macros and all this good stuff? And then they, tell me what they know. And then I say, all right, if you're real serious, write down everything you eat for a week and then come holler at me. But the real trick is this: when you really understand how to make that work, what it really is it seems like it's hard to write everything down, but the real flip on it is that you change everything around to where you already are dictating what you're going to eat every day for the week. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a matter of you writing it like you were at the mercy of it. It'll start off like that, but sooner or later in the long run, like I put it to you this way, for the rest of this week, I know I'm eating combinations of eggs, steak, ground bison, ground beef, and ground chicken. That's like 90% of what I'm going to eat for the rest of this week. And I know that because that's literally all I eat every week. Like 85 to 90%. In other words, I don't need to keep a food diary because I already pre-programmed what I'm going to eat because I've decided what I'm not going to eat. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the flip on it. That once you get to that part, you're just coasting. And that's when you change your whole cravings. That's when you can look at a box of donuts and be like, nah, I'm feeling too good. I'm on too much of a roll and I don't want that setback. Or I know I can hit these donuts right here and I know I won't even be tripping for a month or whatever. Once you know you ain't gonna crack out over it.
No, and I feel you on that, and I agree with you. I just think I'm kind of at that phase as far as the eating. I think I'm still in the phase of a I got to use the drug addict analogy. Imagine a drug addict who just checked into rehab. You know what I'm saying? And you're in there going through the motions because you can't get your fix. I think I'm kind of in that phase right now where I'm eating healthier thanks to my wife. I have to give props to her because I'm a horrible cook, but when I leave the comfort of my house and I got to pass by McDonald's, Wawa's, I got to go to work and the coworkers are bringing the donuts in. I'm like the crackhead fresh out of rehab who got to pass by a bunch of drug dealers now. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in that phase in life. I haven't mentally gotten that tough yet. Even though my physical fitness is getting tougher, meaning I'm working out more and more, but I know that I need to be as tough on my eating, but I'm mentally weak with it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm still weak. I'm still weak mentally when it comes to sugar, bruh. And that's just the thing. I have to, just like you said, I gotta, start writing the stuff down, be more conscious of it. And then one day it'll just kick in and become like a lifestyle and a habit. I'm hoping, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm still, like I say, somebody said something about them donuts. Listen, bruh.
I know it. I'm gonna tell you this right here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What was it? Last weekend, or a week before, I don't know, a week ago, I went to LA because I'm in Vegas right now. Yeah. I went to LA and was specifically looking at spots to eat at. Now I'm super picky about spots that I'll eat out at because I've been researching a lot about food, fitness, nutrition, all this stuff, right? But this whole thing about seed oils, processed seed oils, if you go down that rabbit hole, you're a smart guy. You'll quickly realize, oh, that's why you can't just eat all this stuff that you see out here, because that stuff is like legit poison on a lot of levels. So I specifically was seeking out places that prepared their meals without seed oils, and I found a donut shop that makes their stuff, and they proudly boast that they don't use seed oils. And they showed like the whole process of how they make it. Is they source the stuff from Hawaii, and it's all like these natural ingredients they use. And I went to this spot and ate like 5 of these crazy designer donuts and just straight smashed them and didn't even trip, because I was like, I can do that because I know what I can get away with. But to the point of this comment, Unknown said this guy is basically carnivore. That's why he's fit. And somebody else, it was Unknown too. Basically the low carb thing, eat very low carb and cut out seed oils. Now, the whole thing of when you leave the house and are tempted by these things, if you understand sugar, too much processed sugar, seed oils, these combinations of these fake processed foods, don't think of it as food. Don't even think of it as a drug. As soon as you can make it clear to yourself that, hey, this is poison. How much of this poison do I really want to eat and excite my taste buds and not even get any nutrients, not even help my body build itself? When you start to really frame it that way, then you realize the L you're taking when you eat this fake stuff. Then it starts it'll mess with your head, right? Because you're like, I'm craving sugar, but then you're like, this is actually poison though. You see what I mean? Like how many times are you gonna go hit some poison before you realize? Like if you go under your kitchen sink right now and think, this cleaning detergent tastes hella good. This shit is crack. I'm gonna swig a little swig of that. It's gonna be good. You ain't, that sound crazy, right?
No,
that's literally what's happening when you go to McDonald's. I'm saying when you frame it that way, pulling up in that drive-through, whatever, it's like, nah, fam, because that's literally what it is. It's actually worse than the stuff under your sink. It's a crazy game, but the more you understand that and just kind of change the thinking and the framework on it, believe me, I understand the cravings, how hard it is, but when you understand the booby traps they've set out there with all the preservatives, all the chemicals, the dyes, and then the oils. Look at everything, every box of something you pick up in a store. Anybody listen to this, look if it has canola oil, grapeseed oil, any kind of safflower oil. All these are like these processed oils that do all kind of damage in your body over time, and it takes years for that stuff to get excreted out of your body, and your fat cells basically trap it. That's what's causing the arterial sclerosis, the heart plaque, and the heart attacks. That's what it really is. They try to say it's red meat, but it's really those seed oils. It's just, when you research the stuff, man, it gets so obvious to the point where, again, I'm in Vegas. You know how many food spots are around here that I won't even eat at now because I can't bring myself to do it. Like even on a cheat day, it's hard for me to be like, damn. So like I said, I go way out of my way to look at a place. I found a website called Local Fats that show places that cook with beef tallow or the kind of fats that aren't the seed oils. That's a whole thing. If you go down that rabbit hole, it changes your life. It'll make it easier for you to be like, nah, I ain't eating that because I'm just eating straight poison. I might as well go drink some shit under the sink.
So are you producing this type of content on your channel, like educating and talking about this type of stuff?
Well, that's literally, it was ramping up now, redoing my website, about to drop more content. I don't know, because I was in Oakland, but I got a spot in Vegas. I don't know if I told you about the Vegas move.
I thought so you don't have the spot in Mexico anymore, or?
No, that was the thing. I transitioned from that, and then still have my Oakland spot, still obviously doing my work.
Yeah, I seen you in Vegas. I didn't know that you actually bought a spot. I thought you were just out there on business or something.
I didn't buy it, just renting out here, planting a flag, just to see what kind of business I can start up.
Oh, okay.
But that kind of slowed down what I wanted to do on the personal training and nutrition coaching, because I started the year off really going tough towards that trajectory. But to the point of your question, I'm about to be ramping up a lot more content with that. Just restarted my studies on the personal trainer certification, nutrition certification, but I'm always just reading and soaking up game on this stuff and applying it to myself. And then just going like with my close friends and family, like, hey, this is what it is. And people are like, okay, I see what's going on. And bro, like 46, I'm in the best shape ever in my life. Just all the markers, the best ever, best sleep, best everything. The leanest I've ever been, strongest, strength going up, testosterone levels going up, just negative aging. It's laughable. The fixes are so simple.
Nah, yeah, I mean, I think you should put some real, whenever you got the time, or some energy into it. Because I mean, combine that with your videography skills, graphic design skills, your abilities to put together marketing, promo. I mean, I think you could really put together a real powerful channel that is motivational to look at and easy on the eyes in terms of, saying you can keep people engaged and watching it versus, me holding up my damn iPhone talking about, look at me getting in shape, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I think that'll be something very powerful and motivational, because there's this one channel. I don't know if you watched this guy called Bully Juice.
No, I haven't seen that.
Look up Bully Juice. Like, it's a black dude who used to be in the Air Force. Bully, like BULLYJUICE. I think he started off his channel because he was raising bully dogs. But anyways, this brother got like 1 million, 2 million followers on YouTube, and he's like in hella good shape. You know what I'm saying? But his channel grew because he's talking about a lot of stuff that you're talking about, health, fitness, showing people how to work out, putting together these workout routines, and I mean, he's killing it out there on YouTube.
9 million. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, he got 9 million subs? Because I was subbed to him when he had 500,000. He's up to 9. Oh, shoot. I didn't even know he grew that big.
Yeah, huge. GymO'ClockFitness.com. That's dope. Bully Juice. Yeah, I'm going to check him out.
Yeah, I've been subbed to this dude when he had 500,000. Damn, he does have 9 million. Good Lord. But yeah, this brother used to be in the Air Force. But man, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. This thing's playing in my ear. But anyways, I'm not saying, I think he's into the whole bodybuilding thing now, but I'm just saying, I can see you becoming big like that in terms of channel growth, impact, because of the knowledge. And like I say, you got all the right elements that can combine to make a YouTube channel actually pop off and be successful like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I appreciate that. No, that's what it is, man. It's just been a matter of being able to put the pieces together and do the kind of stuff I do for my clients for my own brand. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy wearing all those hats to do that while doing the stuff for my clients too. Not to give myself excuses, but that's just been kind of the hurdle, plus taking advantage of this Vegas opportunity. But now that I kind of got this situated here going into the winter, get the certification just to legitimize the coaching element a little bit more, and then go crazy with the content. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, bro. I'm about to get off this thing. It's 8 o'clock. I've been here for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, no, dope catching up with you though. And dope topic.
Yeah, shout out your channel where everybody can find you, man.
Oh, so yeah, I got the AM1. Oh, I don't have the wrench, but AM1 Media and AM1 Lifestyle. So AM1 Media is just my general kind of channel. What did you call it? My ratchet channel, or it's kind of my general jump off. I talk health, fitness, all kind of different stuff. But then about to start uploading some content on AM1 Lifestyle. That is the health and fitness channel dedicated. So just pure health, fitness, diet, nutrition at AM1 Lifestyle, as you see right there.
Where'd you go? My bad.
Tagged on there.
Okay. That's AM1. Also, like I said, guys, he does graphic design. He actually, because the guy that did the logo is a guy that I've known since we were like 4th grade, but he actually AM1 brought the logo to life, I should say, in terms of moving it around. And he actually did a video on editing, doing it, showing how to put the damn thing together. If I can find that video, or you can send it to me, I'll probably see if I can share it on my community tab again. But yeah, y'all go holler at AM1, subscribe to him, help him grow his channel, his presence. As y'all can see, he got a lot of knowledge. So, you know, we need more of that out there. He's not with the woe is me stuff. He's with the get your life right and, you know, put a solution together and get busy with it type of stuff. Stuff that I believe in. You know what I mean? All right, bro. Well, it's nice chopping up with you. I got to go in here and do the husband father thing.
Handle it, man.
while you be the single man thing, staring at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. So anyway, shout out to my man's Mark, aka Authentic Talk Podcast. Like I said, he keeps changing his name all the time. Let me see if I can highlight his name in the chat in case y'all want to go give him right here. Here he is. So if y'all want to go give him a subscribe, I actually posted the link to his video in the description box. Like I say, I've been knowing that dude for years on YouTube and social media, so it ain't no beef or no drama. You know, it's just us critiquing each other and, you know, talking a little smiggity smack. But I appreciate everybody being up in here. And Gen Z, look, this ain't no beef, right? I'm not beefing with Gen Z. I'm just saying that I just think that a lot of y'all complaints about the corporate work structure are misdirected, misplaced. When I think that y'all could be using all of your RD smarts, because y'all are smart. I'm not even gonna front. Gen Z people, y'all might be some of the smartest people, the smartest generation. I don't know. Let me back that up. I'm giving y'all a little too much credit. Y'all are pretty smart, and y'all have access to a lot of technology to help y'all really go out there and kick ass and take names in life. But when I see y'all complaining about the corporate work structure, it just kind of irks me because I'm like, man, why can't you apply all these RD smarts and technology into creating a solution so you don't have to be in the corporate work structure if you choose not to be in there, or learn a skill so you can transition to doing something else, starting your own business. This whining, this crying, especially if you're a guy. Look, I'm just here to tell y'all, nobody really cares about that. People, they just care about solutions. Can you fix a problem for me? And then if you can fix problems and become really good at it, there are people who will pay you for that. So, you know, just think about those things, Gen Z. All right, y'all. Shout out to my man Cyrus in the building. He says he's Gen Z. No offense taken. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody else being here. But it's 8 o'clock. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. So I'm about to go, and I will holler at y'all later. Peace.